All right, we should be live. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to episode 17 of Geekery Abides. We're chugging along, man. February.
Yeah.
We're most of the year behind us now. I don't know. It's wild.
It's September, man. Like, it's almost October.
I know. It is.
What is
It's
this?
spooky season, for God's sake. Like, I think what made me think of it is the weather's starting to turn on us here.
Yeah.
And it's like it was fucking balls cold when we started this show.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and we're now getting to the point where it's cold again.
Went outside yesterday, and I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
hello there.
I've turned my heated seat on a few times
Yeah.
in the last week.
Yeah.
So, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's hit the intro real quick and get started.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
You the proud, the geeky.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
Hello and welcome to Geekery Abides, episode 17. I am Tad, and with me, as always, is Peter. We are here
Howdy ho, neighborinos.
chugging along the wonderful journey that has been Ahsoka. So, isn't it great?
Woo! Whoa!
We have a little bit to hit up front, obviously, before we get too far down the Ahsoka trail. But
Make it quick.
it's good. There's not a lot of news. But first of all, we'll throw out the email stuff if you want to email us. We basically both, Ahsoka has been an exception. These are kind of just neutral episodes. But generally, we alternate. I got the odd episodes. Peter has the even episodes. We each produce and decide the topics and all that kind of stuff. So if you want to email either of us for show ideas or feedback or whatever, or if you wanted to surprise one of us, obviously email the other one. Hit up Peter at geekeryabides.com or Tad, T-A-D-D, at geekeryabides.com if you want to have some sort of say in the show. Next up, what have you been watching, reading, playing?
I'm going to make it fast.
Oh,
'cause-
it looks like the date on my slide. I swear a guy updated it. Motherfucker. I
Uh-oh.
think I forgot it a few times ago. So this time I swear. I think maybe what I did is I updated the 17, but then I forgot the date. Boo earns.
Boo words. And we were having technical
That's
issues
a
earlier,
That's
too.
a button we need is boo earns.
Boo words. I literally have a thing here saying no.
I was saying boo earns.
Negative or sad. I'm going to put that down.
I need more mole man in my life. But yes, apologies. It is indeed September 23rd, not whatever the hell my previous slide said. So, yes. If you're getting your dates from Geekery Abides, I apologize that I have led you astray. And also, you should probably reevaluate getting your dates from me.
Don't ever get it from Tad.
Oh, man. So what do you got?
I'm boring this time. I haven't been doing much. I'm still reading Harry Potter. I'm in book 5. I've only been watching Ahsoka and Jeremy Dooley stream. He did an all uncapped subathon for September. Literally finished last night. 22 days straight of streaming. It's insane. And then playing 7 Days to Die. I'm boring.
Yeah.
I'm boring right now.
So for me, Ahsoka,
Yeah.
as well as I have probably watched at least 25 Ahsoka reaction videos.
Can't get enough.
Specifically for episode 5. I haven't watched a single one for episode 6. Nothing to say against episode 6, but episode 5, as we will be discussing.
Woo!
Holy shit. And then I also finally caught up and watched the Hannibal movie, which was a lot of fun
Oh, yeah?
on 4K. Nothing like seeing those brains in 4K. I need to watch that with Hayden That
Do you?
that needs to be a reaction video. Hayden watching
And
Hannibal.
it's a subtle one. It's not
think-
not going to be like obvious coming.
Oh,
so.
there's a lot of that movie's fucking brutal.
No,
man.
no, I know, but he's not going to suspect it. Because, I mean, he's going to be suspecting something because you're going to be putting it on Hato Reacts.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be like, like Friday the 13th Part 4. He's going to be like, okay, there's something really fucked up in this
Yeah.
if we're watching this. Just, like,
But remember the
also sell
remember
it.
the hanging too.
Yeah.
The phone hitting and then the guts.
Yep. Yeah.
That's great.
I know.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
I'm just saying, it's not going to be on his radar to be like, I'm worried about that film.
Yeah. And then reading wise, I read Holly. I read a book on BTK. I think it was called BTK. And then The Gunslinger and The Drawing of the Three. I'm rereading the Dark Tower series for the first time in a hot minute. So right in the middle of Drawing of the Three currently. And then playing, I did finish Wildlands. I have actually dabbled a little bit in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
The new one? Not the old school one?
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
the old school one's easily available. So
It's on Steam, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I just went on, played Hoth, went and destroyed some fucking, treasonous rebels. It was great. Except for the only thing that annoys me is they allow the heroes on maps they don't belong. When I'm running up a trench in Hoth, I don't want to see a fucking Ewok. That makes no goddamn sense. Or fucking, it's even breaking timelines. Anakin Skywalker's showing up. I'm like, what? I'm Darth Vader.
He does show up on Hoth.
No, I'm Darth Vader, and then I'm Anakin Skywalker.
He's always at battle with his past self.
They need to get that goddamn cannon in line over there on the Battlefront realm. And then I also did Fire Up Red Dead 2 again.
Trying to finish it.
I got to finish out that last little bit.
Gotta do that 100%, right?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I did give up. Because I was getting really annoyed by the bird stuff. That's what made me stop.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what else can I do? And then I realized one of my gambling things to bust out someone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go to Saint Denis for an obvious reason when I was originally doing the gamblers thing. Because if I was to wander into Saint Denis, something was going to happen, and I wasn't going to allow that to happen. So now that I'm someone else, I'm like, okay, now I can go down in there and bust someone else. So then I rode all the way down there, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. Turn the game off for the night.
It's funny you say that, because I actually did that with a game just yesterday too. Borderlands 3 is hitting its 4-year anniversary, and so they have these things called shift codes, where basically in a part of the game you can go in and have a golden key, and you open up a chest. And remember, the game is like based on loot and stuff like that. They've been giving out shift codes for keys like for a month now. My wife keeps texting them to me. Thank you. And I keep seeing them online. So I have usually I have 10 keys. I think I currently have 35. And then 4 of the super special keys to a special room that gets me special loot and everything. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I should go get my because there's 4 different playable characters in it. I'm like, oh, I should go get my Flak. That's the guy that I really like playing as. I should go get him and get some really good loot and everything like that. I realize that's on Xbox. I switched to being a PC gamer, so I don't have a Flak character on Borderlands. So I'm like, do I want to play this again? I just played this a couple months ago, and I'm like, I started up, I played the first couple missions, and I went, nah. I turned it back off. I'm just like, no, I'm not into it.
And I wasn't shutting Red Dead off in a permanent. It was more just it was getting late, and I was on the other side of the map, but I decided I wasn't going to fast travel, so I rode my ass across the entire.
Is there something
map.
about Red Dead that when you come back to it after a while, you just have to ride your horse?
Well, yeah, because I did just played Wildlands, and there's a number of button differences.
Oh
those
yeah,
two.
You're accidentally diving off your horse.
Like clicking the joystick is how you run in Ghost Recon, but in Red Dead you duck. So I kept Oompa Loompaing it as I was walking around trying to kill some people. So, yeah, I was just like, I got to do this. And I was like, pulling out my gun to shoot at random things. I'm like, I got to get back to these controls now. It's always dangerous when you move to different games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
My wife says, watching Ahsoka and streamer Jeremy Dooley reading 50 Shades and going to start Lucy soon. She saw that on Audible. It's a series on there that's just included with it. Sounds interesting.
Okay.
Playing Power Wash Simulator and Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Oh, awesome. So we don't have a lot of news, which is good because there's a lot of Ahsoka to talk about.
Yes, there is.
So first news bit, we do have X and Pearl, the movie 1 and 2 of that series, are getting a third movie titled Maxine with 3 X's, and it is being described as an 80s set whodunit slasher movie. So
I've heard of X. I've never heard of Pearl.
Yeah, same. It's this prequel, I think, to X.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen X?
No.
I highly recommend it. I mean, I haven't watched Pearl yet. I own it. I haven't watched it yet. But X was like incredible.
You and owning movies and not watching them. It's insane.
Oh man. Hey, let's go look at your Steam library, shall we? And see,
Hey.
Let's go see what your play count is on your Steam. We can have your wife.
No.
check that for us.
We're not going to talk about all the games that I bought this year that I haven't played. Let's not do that.
Oh man. Next up, rumor-wise, we have a rumor that Quentin Tarantino's final film, quote-unquote, because I don't really buy that, but he's saying it's his final film. The movie critic has reportedly cast John Travolta. That's obviously notable because...
Callback?
Yeah, Tarantino saved Travolta's career. One of my all-time favorite stories behind that is there's this point when they're at Itchy and Scratchy Land on The Simpsons, and they go to like a New Year's Eve bar, and it's like, oh, look, even the bartender even looks like John Travolta, and he's like, yeah, looks like. So they wrote that episode, do it all, whatever. In the meantime, between like developing the episode and releasing it, Pulp Fiction came out, so he became like a star again. But like before that, it would have been like legit that like he's working at basically Disneyland as a bartender. So it's one of my favorite little things. Yeah, so that's interesting. We'll have to see what comes of the movie critic. I'm intrigued. I mean, Tarantino's very hit or miss for me. I either love him or hate him. Or not hate him, but some of them I'm just like, that's not for me.
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued to see what this one's about. Next up, we got a rumor. Apparently, the rumor is Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is dead.
Really?
It does not exist anymore.
Damn.
So, yeah, I mean, who knows? It's just a rumor, but it would not surprise me as Star Wars in the Disney era is not doesn't take much for them to ice a movie. So
or make serious changes to it either.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm okay with that. I like Taika Waititi. I don't know if I am really into the idea of him doing a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
with what he's done elsewhere, it's like if you're gonna fire the dudes that did the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movies off the Solo movie because they were making it a comedy, quote unquote, that's the rumor, then why are you gonna give Taika Waititi a movie?
Yeah.
Like, it's just I don't know about that. Next up, this is news, not a rumor. The planned Disney Plus series Lando is now a movie.
Oh, okay.
This actually follows what we've heard. Is the rumor has been that Bob Iger is saying that he wants less Disney Plus things and more movies being made, especially for these.
I saw that.
Especially for, we've talked about it on this show too.
Yeah.
Especially for things like Star Wars and Marvel. Like
why do we pay so much money for these franchises and not be releasing movies?
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, the fact that we haven't had a Star Wars movie since 2019 is a fucking crime.
Especially since we have a company that has the money to make Star Wars movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Make me a movie. Do it.
And then the last one we've got here, the rumor is Ahsoka season 2 started its development right before the strikes.
All right then.
So this is this is interesting because as of this point, we have no indication that there is any sequels.
Yeah.
Or any second season. Because the other thing we got to account for in our minds is there have not been other seasons to most Star Wars projects. They have been one season things. Andor was confirmed to have a second season already.
Oh, is it?
But it's like Obi-Wan, yes, it sounds like Ewan McGregor's asking for one, but that was a one and done. Boba Fett, like, it just seems like a lot of this stuff, like Mandalorian's the exception, certainly, because that one, whatever. But it's like...
Because that one exploded.
But Andor was like kind of like a surprise when they gave it another season, because it was like, oh shit, yeah, this is really well acclaimed, like everyone loves it, but like, oh, they're giving me another season.
Yeah.
So... I don't know. I mean, I hope we do, because especially now where we're getting, not to jump too far ahead, but I'm a little bit interested in the fact that we're where we're at in the story, and we only have 2 episodes left.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need more seasons.
Yeah.
So
100%. Like you said, we're gonna get there, but
yeah. So that's it for the news.
Excellent.
So
Good. Let's go.
Yeah, let's jump on over to the main topic here, and that is.
Ahsoka.
We are currently talking about episode 5 and episode 6. We'll start with obviously with part 5, which is titled Shadow Warrior.
I do want to call out. Tad made a really nice change this time into how we structure the show. He sent me a formula for breaking down the episode into like scenes and stuff like that, so that we can better organize our notes and everything like that. So we're going to go scene by scene kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe groups of scenes.
Yeah,
Like multiple
It's
chunks of the episode
Part
broken
5
up.
is way cleaner than part 6.
Yes.
Part 5, there are very distinct lines.
Yes.
One thing I'll also say, I kind of have a feeling that more of the episode's going to be on 5, so don't get nervous with the time, listeners. Because I do think there's a lot more in 5 than 6. 6 is a great episode.
5 is
but
heavy.
5 has got a lot of shit,
Hey,
man.
we covered it last time. 5 is the only episode that's been released in theaters. There
Yeah.
was a reason.
Yeah, and what have I been saying since day one? Dave Filoni picked the premiere, the first episode, and he picked 5. Why did he pick 5?
There's a reason.
There's a reason, and now we know. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The first little section that I've got, I called Ghost and Phoenix Squadron arrive on Cetos.
Yep.
So my first note, I really love Cetos' design. The red trees are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting tired of desert planets in the Disney era. If I never see Tatooine again, it'll be too soon. And I love Tatooine. I mean, Jabba the Hutt. I mean, I love so much, but it's like, dude, it's been done to fucking death. Either that or the Kmart Tatooine from Force Awakens.
Jakku.
But I love Cetos. It's a really cool design. I also did wonder. I think those red leaves turn green when they die off and fall to the ground.
Do they die off and fall to the ground just because Earth cycles goes through a winter? What if this doesn't have seasons? What if that's just the color all year?
Unnatural.
It could be, but that's the thing is like you don't necessarily have to implement Earth seasons on another planet. It could just be that way all the time.
I would trade for red trees in a second.
There are red trees. I had a red tree in my.
If we just trade all of Earth's, all the green
from
trees
green to
trees,
red?
oh, I'd do it in a second.
Red's a far superior color to green, is
Oh,
what you're saying?
Indeed. I mean, we saw that constantly with.
There's a reason red's behind you right now instead of green.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah. So what do you got? I also do have a newer thing for the slides.
Okay.
We're now in little bubbles.
There we go.
But I think it gives a little bit more space to the pictures.
It looks great.
And I also have a lot more pictures. I think between
Yeah.
the 2 episodes, I've got 80 pictures that we're going to be.
My wife agrees with you with the red tree. She said, "Hell yes, give me red trees." It looks great.
Yeah,
it looks fantastic.
It does. Cetos, I'm digging so far. So
the only thing here for me is Hu Yang sitting there with the Sabine's helmet gave me chills
okay, yeah.
because it just for half a second between the weeks I forgot what had happened.
Yeah.
I always skip the recaps. I feel like the
Oh, yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
I feel like the episode should remind me naturally. I shouldn't be reminded beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm pre-thinking about things. I like it like this. And the reason why is I forgot for half a second that they're not both dead.
Yeah.
Like for half a second here, I'm like, they're both dead.
Yeah.
Well, just like oh wait, no, that's crazy. But him just standing there, just holding the helmet, looking
Yeah.
out over the sea. Dude, he knew.
Yeah.
Like he knows where Ahsoka is. Like he has to know. Why else is he standing there by the cliff? Why wouldn't he be? That's not where the helmet was.
Oh, you mean he knows that she went into the water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows. He somehow knows that she's down there somewhere.
I mean, probably because her corpse isn't laying around somewhere. So
Well, no, but
yeah, they could have taken.
what
her
about
too.
Sabine then? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for a split second, it was a great shot.
Yeah.
And everything. Chopper's a menace.
So that's my note. Hera, Jason, Chopper coming out to investigate. I really love the dynamic between the three. It's awesome, especially when you consider Hera's relationship with Chopper as it's established in Rebels. They build a lot. There's a lot of emotion between those two. There's a real good relationship there. I would say even probably deeper than Luke and R2's ever
She
was in the
saved
original
him, right?
trilogy. Yeah, exactly. She saved him he was wrecked out of a Republic ship. Like a Republic Y-wing, the equivalent of a Y-wing, and I just feel like there's a really tight relationship with the two. So, also
Jason peeking out behind Chopper.
yeah, they hear us down, and then Jason hides behind Chopper. That's my dude. That I love it. It's so great, and he fits right behind him too.
Yeah. Also, I want to point out character development for Chopper here. If that had been Ezra in Rebels, he would have been like, get out from behind.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm going to hide behind you. Or he's
Yeah.
going to hide behind Zeb or something like that. But Jason, no, he'll protect Jason. He'll be in front of him. He'll take a shot for him.
Oh yeah. I was about to say we've talked already about how he's very safe with Chopper.
There's some character development there for Chopper. Good on him for be willing to protect someone instead of hiding behind them.
Yeah, indeed. And then as you just alluded to, I've got a picture for it here, and my note.
Dude, just look at that.
Yeah, and my note, holy fuck, how sad is the Hugh Yang moment here. So much emotion from a droid.
Yeah.
Much like 3PO, I feel like even though he's emotionless, he doesn't have any emotion or motion with his face, right? It's a fucking droid. It's always going to look the same. But I feel like so much like 3PO did in the original trilogy, you could see changes, it seemed like, because of the acting. There's times it looked like 3PO was like frowning or what, but his face never changed,
or worried.
right?
Yeah, it's the same expression, but he's worried.
But he emoted so well. I think Hugh Yang's doing the same thing. I think Hugh Yang's cheating a tiny bit because with the eyes, he's able to emote even more than 3PO did. But it's just awesome. I mean, the emotion here.
Yeah.
And also, I also pointed out Hamlet pose with Sabine's helmet.
Oh yeah,
Hamlet with the skull, right? That's what I thought of anyway. Not that I'm even the biggest Shakespeare fan, but it did come to mind. Also, I'm going to mention it a few times throughout the both episodes, but especially this one. But Kevin Kiner's score is fucking stellar in this episode.
Oh yeah,
the dude has done a lot of great stuff in Clone Wars and Rebels, but his work on this show just feels absolutely next level. And there was like a musical motif here that just added to the fucking heartbreak of seeing. I have
a note later that the episode's probably got the best music.
Oh, I mean, yeah, and like I said, I'll mention more later because there's a few different times where the music is like a fucking banger. Also, how good have the droids been in the Disney era? Have you thought about that? BB-8, Chopper, IG-11, BD-1 from the Fallen Order games, K2SO, AP-5, Dio, Ned B, Lola, L3, and then B2 Emo. From you haven't seen Andor, but just across the fucking board, like every
MVPs of the Disney era.
Every project that they do, it feels like they bring in a droid, and every time I just don't think they've missed. I think it's been.
You know why Disney gets the droids right? It's because they're cartoon characters.
Yeah.
That's that.
Well,
I mean,
I'll say they've done great with new droids. I think they have a little bit mishandled 3PO and R2. I don't think they were given enough in either or any of the three of the new trilogy. Okay. I think that was a little bit annoying because they're the main characters, man. They're the through line through the whole thing, right? But the new droids they've created in this era have been absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. The other thing I wanted to point out when we're talking about Hugh Yang here, the joke I've always heard is that Wookiees live hundreds of years and humans live 100. So, and that's if they're lucky. So basically, humans are just the pet for the Wookiee. It's like us with a dog, right? You might have 5 or 6 dogs in your lifetime. That's what it is for Chewie. He's going to have 5 or 6 humans that he attaches because he lives so much longer.
We saw the transition from one. He went from Han to Rey.
So what is the analogy for a human or Togruta, which is Ahsoka, to Hugh Yang that has lived long enough to live longer than over 25 Yodas?
A fish?
Like a goldfish?
A fish that lives 1 or 2 years kind of thing?
Yeah, seriously, dude. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it's just because him with the helmet, but I looked it up. Togruta only live 100 years, so they're about the same as humans. But I was like, even Yoda, when you think of it in Yoda's perspective, how often has he gone through sets of humans? But it's like then Hugh Yang that could have had if he had a pet Yoda and everyone and they just kept going.
He could have had 30 or 40. You know, I'm not great at math, but
over 25 is what I have it at. And that's only if Yoda is not outstanding in his age because he's 900 years old is his claim in Return of the Jedi.
That's right, 900.
So 900. So 25,000 years, and God knows if that's even like a rough estimate. But either way, he's lived long enough to outlive 25 Yodas. Which is insane. Also, then we get to the title card. I don't really have a screen grab for that, but I also want to give a shout out to it because it was so unexpected. I think most people went into this expecting the episode title to be "World Between Worlds," I saw a number of reviews where people even called that out as it was getting ready to get to that point, and then when it came up, people were shocked. I was shocked too. Wasn't guessing it, but it's Shadow Warrior is not what I expected to come up. And I will say,
really?
I love the titles. Like
Yeah.
I love they don't show it that first day on Disney Plus when you go into it. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, it's like episode 5, and then you watch it, and it's.
Yeah, that it'll show it there. I love that because to me the titles are a kind of a cool reveal. But I love the title, Shadow Warrior. So yeah, good stuff. So now we are moving over to the next section, which is Anakin and Ahsoka Part 1, World Between Worlds.
Yep.
So I got a picture here of them in the World Between Worlds.
Yep. Defensive posture for Ahsoka,
I mean, she's got her arms folded, but
which is a defensive posture.
I guess when you're thinking Ahsoka, a defensive could be like more martial arts, like
No. Like
emotionally.
like when you're standing, what you do with your arms tells what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Crossing your arms and everything like that can be taken as a defensive. It happens with my wife all the time. We'll be driving in the car, and I'm like, "Why are you crossing your arms? Are you mad? Like, what's going on?" She goes, "No, just my arms got tired hanging down, so I'm crossing them for a little bit." So it's just interesting that. But Anakin instantly into like a teacher pose.
Yeah.
Hands behind the regal. Very sophisticated.
I don't generally try to read out of universe stuff in, but I could not help to think of all the stupid ass fans who bitched about Anakin looking old in Obi-Wan when Ahsoka said that he looked the same, and then he said that she looked old. It's a great line. It made me smile, but it made me think real world work because everyone bitched, in Obi-Wan that he looked too old, and then last episode people were bitching that it looked like shitty de-aging, which it didn't because. It turns out it is seeming like they actually did no special effects. It was all makeup.
Nice.
For this. There was some behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, he looks the same.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is all makeup. So
have you seen him at the videos, like at Celebration and stuff like that?
he looks older than
He looks a
did.
little bit older,
So-
but not much in that episode 3. Just a different haircut.
A different haircut, but he has some wrinkles, but I think stuff they can cover with makeup.
Absolutely.
So I think most of this being practical, it's just funny because now retroactively it goes to all those people that bitched in episode 4. Oh, look at that shitty de-aging. Because I saw people bitching about that with that last scene in 4.
Yeah.
And it's like, how dumb do you look now? Because it wasn't de-aging at all. So we're not digitally de-aging.
Yeah.
But yeah, my main point though, he looks fucking incredible. It's and I said it because I think it was before I watched the behind the scenes video. I said if this is de-aging, they perfected this art because there's not a single point in this entire episode that it took me out of it. And I'm not super critical, but like it's like when Tarkin or Leia or some of these others, like it just that isn't exactly right.
You know the only one that's ever taken me out of it is Indiana Jones.
Really?
Everyone's ranted and raved about that one.
That
but
one did not for me.
It took me out. The light and the shadow didn't play right over his face.
And that was the first time for me and I was like watching close. I'm like, give me something to not believe. And that was the first time I'm like, okay, they're actually getting this for me. Now, It was only after the movie I saw people bitching about his voice. I'm like, never even dawned on me that it was still old man Harrison's voice because he's got a different voice in his older age. But
go watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and compare it to
the newer old.
The girlfriend Harrison Ford. You didn't tell me that, kid.
Yeah.
That famous story from Mark Hamill.
Yeah. What do you got? I've got a number of notes, but go ahead.
I got 2 here. One, instantly we get the choice from Anakin. Like I still have more to teach you and everything like that. Great to see him slip right back into the master apprentice role for them. Get a sense of that. First time we're seeing that in live action. We saw it all through the Clone Wars. If we've watched the Clone Wars, but a lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
So it's great to see that right off the bat. But then I got to teach you a lesson. He brings out his lightsaber. The only other note I have is that is not Vader's lightsaber.
No,
that is Luke's lightsaber from episode 4.
Well, it's Anakin's lightsaber.
Luke's lightsaber. We see it first in episode 4. Therefore, chronologically, it is Luke's lightsaber.
Obi-Wan takes it out of the chest saying, this is your father's. He wanted you to have this when you're old enough.
And it therefore transfers ownership from Obi-Wan to Luke.
But it starts as Anakin's.
It's the Youngling Killer 3000 or whatever the joke is.
Indeed.
But it is not Vader's lightsaber like a lot of people were saying. I think you were talking about that.
Yeah,
right?
there was some shadow that made it look dark.
I pulled up an image when I was rewatching, doing my notes and stuff. I pulled up an image of Vader's lightsaber and Anakin's and Luke's light. I'm gonna call it Luke's just to keep them separate. Luke's lightsaber.
Oh, they're distinct for sure.
And Vader's lightsaber. The main thing that's similar to it is
the tip in the middle.
The bottom has those black lines running around it for grip. That's same on both lightsabers.
Yeah,
but the tip,
the
tip is the big difference.
The tip is black,
Yep.
and then the middle belt portion where the
Ignite.
I'm not too much. I'm not enough of a
On,
lightsaber
off,
nerd to know all
the
well,
light
no,
switch button.
They all have names. The Jedi game, that Jedi game, you get it because you can upgrade all the different portions.
Oh.
But the tip and the middle, like the middle belt of it, are black on Vader.
Yeah.
So, but there was darkness in that 4 that made it. It was really it was ambiguous. And I think Filoni did it on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he did it.
So people are like, "Is that Vader?"
Yeah.
Well, they also played the Imperial March right at the end of the.
Yeah.
The scene goes black and. And it's like, oh no!
And the closed captions said Vader's theme.
Yes.
Which is the alternate title to
Yes.
Imperial March, which is pretty evocative.
But yeah, when he pulls out his lightsaber, you can see there's a distinct little nub on Luke's lightsaber right near the tip that I know I have the lightsaber. I own it. I've had it for years. It's the master replica that we bought back
I've
right
got
after
Vader's,
high school.
and I've got
Yeah.
Luke's.
So Luke's second one.
Luke's
Luke's-
his lightsaber.
Luke's built
the one
lightsaber.
that's truly his. Even though it's
So-
just a riff on Obi-Wan's,
It is.
which I love. Fuck to see them both on screen in live action is so cool.
Right?
I mean, just I'm geeking out when I'm watching this. And he calls her Snips face to face.
Yep.
I mean, we heard it last episode,
Yeah.
but this is different. Calling her that to her face. Once she remembers Balin's skull, he says that she still has a chance to live.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know if I take this as that she has died and she has a chance to come back, or if she doesn't die. A little bit later, I have another element that I think is some. I think I'm leaning towards she's actually dead, and it's kind of that moment where it's like go to the light or not type thing. And there's something later that I'll add to my
We'll get there.
to my evidence. But here, that was my thought. Is like, did Ahsoka die and she's now in the world between? Because there is no Ezra to pull her away from death into this place. Like, she's coming here on her own now, which is interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I love is the Clone Wars has the fortune cookie things at little lessons at the beginning. They'd have a little text that would pop up, and it would just be some it would apply to the episode, but it was just it was applicable to a real human on our planet. It's not like never trust a clone trooper. No, it's like, like leadership and this or whatever. They always call them fortune cookies. So
It
that's why I
doesn't
always
matter
call
how many
them.
times you fall down. It matters how many times you get back up.
Exactly.
Those kinds of things.
I love that Anakin is dropping one here on her when he says one is never too old to learn. I felt if that felt like a Clone Wars fortune cookie to me, just being spoken instead of putting up on screen text wise. And then her calling him master got me.
It's like
that
she didn't just call him Anakin.
Yeah, that hit me. So I just realized I have not changed the picture
We got a couple.
over, but then the next one though, and this one we're blocking a tiny bit, but we get the sense here. Lightsabers come out because he tells her live or die,
And
then
she says she doesn't want to fight him, and wrong.
and then ignites the lightsaber. Or attacks her because she only brings it up at the last second to deflect. So lightsaber clashes with Master and Apprentice. So many feelings. I'm feeling Obi-Wan and Vader from Revenge of the Sith. I'm thinking Ahsoka and Vader from Rebels. I'm thinking Obi-Wan and Vader and Obi-Wan. Just so many emotions here.
I'm
just the
thinking-
Master and Apprentice thing. It just that's built in throughout. It's layered throughout this whole era, or the original era. But
I'm thinking of Obi-Wan and Anakin in Obi-Wan, the flashback, the training.
Oh yeah, the training.
That's the one that comes to my mind when I see this. Is like, hey, you're not too old to learn. Here, let's teach you something, and everything. And then he cuts the, I haven't taught you everything. Boom.
Yeah.
That's what gives me vibes as Master Apprentice.
Yeah.
And we saw that in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, so
I keep trying to lean back to not block Ahsoka. Like, I'm going to be able to not block her.
for the most part, I tested most of these pictures out, and generally speaking, people use the center of the frame, so we're not going to cover a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, there's wide shots like this that we're going to
I'm like trying to duck out of it.
the line when she says, I'm not, what does she say? I'm not going to fight you, or I don't want to fight you, or
I
something.
don't want to fight you, I think is what she says.
I've heard that before.
Uh-huh. Luke.
Holy shit, dude.
Luke says that in episode 6.
So-
I'm not going to fight you, Father.
So this proves this is not a vision.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a memory. This is not some weird out-of-body
Experience.
something. This is fucking Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
This is an Anakin This is truly him. This is because that was the debate from a lot of people. Oh, this could just be some kind of vision. This could whatever. No, this is Anakin. He just referred to Return of the Jedi. Like that's it's just I'm getting chills. It's just huge.
He says a bunch of stuff that makes me realize like this actually is Anakin.
Yeah, because I think you could maybe come to the conclusion without this line that this could just be her taking stuff from her memory of her master and like populating it herself from her own
And
subconscious.
she's creating. They've done that before in other films and TV shows where it's just like, where are we? This is your memory. You tell me where we are.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and everything.
I think this is a very clever tactical line by Filoni to dispel all of those theories that he knows will arise.
Yeah.
He's dropping this line so that we all know, like this is Anakin Skywalker in his final form.
Yeah.
So, I love it though. It's pretty awesome. Let's see what else you got this section.
That's it for me.
Okay, so then there's only and then because they do start dueling here. My one note, and I would love to hear your reaction to what your thoughts if you disagree.
Yeah.
There's only one actor on this fucking planet that does a lightsaber better than Hayden Christensen. One guy.
Ewan McGregor.
No, Ray Park.
Oh, Ray Park's amazing.
Ray Park. But and I'm not saying that to dispel to
Yeah.
talk shit on anyone. I am talking that Hayden Christensen fucking dueling, he knows what the fuck he's doing, and he does it better than anyone outside of Ray Park. And Ray Park's kind of a ringer because
It's not fair.
he's like a martial art, like a high level martial artist.
It's
and
not
shit,
fair.
so it's really not fair. But I have seen a lot of people going, "Oh, Hayden is the absolute best. Nobody's better than him." And everyone in the comments is like, Ray Park exists."
Yeah. Let's not forget Darth Maul.
Yeah, he's incredible at what he does.
Yes.
But Hayden's so goddamn good.
I actually have a note about Hayden's lightsaber in the next section.
There's a few different times you could highlight,
Yeah.
but this first bit, there's just some stuff happening where I'm like, dude, he is so fucking good. We've been praising dueling this whole show, but I will state again, the duels in this show have been infinitely better than anything we got in the sequel trilogy.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to shit on the sequel trilogy, but this show,
If something's better, it's better.
it's just
in our opinions.
Yeah, it's just and again, it's not even as much to try to like talk down on those as much as it is to talk about how fucking good this has been. Like everything, Shin versus Sabine, Baylan Skull versus Ahsoka, like everything we've seen so far. And now this, holy
Ahsoka
shit,
versus
dude.
Shin and the Inquisitor.
Yeah, and now Ahsoka versus Anakin. Holy hell! It's,
We're getting a bunch. It's great.
yeah, it's so good. So now we are going to the next part, which I have titled Cetos Part 2. The fleet is coming, sensing something, going to sweep the water, and that is what we have next. So let me go ahead and change the picture over here.
Okay.
We have got Chopper with his little dish out, trying to do some scans.
And Jason.
Very reminiscent of R2-D2 on Hoth, as well as Chopper did it a number of times in Rebels, where he had his little dish out.
Looking for a signal.
Yeah, exactly. So I loved
Looking
it.
for a sign, something.
It geeked me out.
Hera using a bigger, like something
Scanner.
I don't think we've ever really seen anything like this.
Yeah,
have we?
I believe that's the exact same prop as Han Solo on
In
Hoth.
Hoth. Oh, I didn't think about that.
Which made me
when
laugh
he's looking
'cause
for
it's-
when he's looking for Luke.
Yeah, because it made me laugh because it's white, and I'm like, I don't know if white works. I know it worked on Hoth, but I'm not sure if it should be white here. But it's like you want to recreate
why would
the
you
same prop,
why would you color it though?
I know.
Oh no, I mean like
Yeah.
military wise, if
No.
if this is the stuff from the Rebels, just a few years later.
Yeah. I will say this cut is pretty damn rough though. I love Hera. I'm getting to love Jason. I love Chopper, but cutting me away from
Anakin
what
and
we just
Ahsoka.
had, that hurt me.
You're like, damn you, Dave Filoni.
That hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Carson Teva gives a Senator Organa call out.
Yep.
Says Senator Organa is giving cover. So that's awesome to me because I think that's some interesting seeds being planted for the sequel era, because as the New Republic is devolving to the same bureaucratic bullshit as the Old Republic, Leia is still a fucking rebel, much like Hera. And this obviously evolves later. Leia is going to break off with her group from the New Republic to create the Resistance, because basically the New Republic isn't doing what it needs to do against the Empire. We're going to go fucking
Against
do
the
it.
First Order.
Or just I think it's starting with the Empire though. So
Yeah.
I do love this because I know there's a lot of people that want to see like the sequels wiped out and retconned. That's not going to happen.
No, they're going to tie it together.
But and even me that I'm mixed on some elements of the sequels, but I do appreciate these elements that are going to plug into what we're going to see later. Yeah. One other thing, and I'll let you hit some notes. Nuts and bolts question: who is Leia a senator for?
Alderaan.
Do they need a senator?
Oh, shit!
That's what I'm saying. Like, it didn't really dawn on me, but it's like,
wait, is Leia a senator?
Yeah, they call her Senator Organa. He's like, but she can only give us cover for so long. And I'm like, who's she a senator for? It took you a second to.
What about the people who weren't on Alderaan when it blew up? They would
the
still
survivors.
They would still have. I mean, there's only a few of them. I mean, Leia's one of them.
Yeah.
So there would be people who happen to be off-world who would have to be
certainly
still represented, right? And also, it would probably kind of be like one of those things where it's like, yeah, come have a seat at the table, Poland. I know everything happened in World War II was bad, but come join us in NATO. It's okay, kind of like they feel bad for them. It's probably a pity, or senator.
And somewhat, it's more of just a too soon comment from me
Maybe
ultimately. But it is.
What if it's a president thing? President Obama is President Obama, even if he's not the president anymore. It's President Obama, so she's senator. She's always senator.
Could be.
What if it's that?
Could be.
Yeah, because they call Queen Amidala even after she's queen. She's like, well, I'm not queen anymore. So what if it's one of those ones where it's once a senator, always a senator, and she's using her.
Or the title, and not that she's still a senator.
Not that she's maybe she's not a senator anymore, but she still keeps the title because she was a senator.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is.
But that it did come to my mind though.
Oh,
So
dude, there is no. Yeah, you're like Senator Ogani. Who's she a senator for? I'm like Alderaan. Duh. You're like, Peter. This takes place after Episode 4, right? Boom.
What is she? Senator for the asteroid.
The chair recognizes the senator from the honorable system of asteroids. Oh, shit, dude.
The system formerly known as Alderaan. Oh, that's dark. What do you got? I've hit a couple of my notes in a row here. What do you?
I love Jason feeling this without being told to, because that's a true sign of like a really powerful Force user. Is he's just chilling, he's just listening. He's just vibing and everything like that, and he hears it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to, like, be told. Like, some of those apprentices are like, calm your mind. Listen. Let go of your emotions. Like pay attention. Like Luke with Yoda on Dagobah.
Yeah.
A lot of that is,
he's too
preoccupied.
Yeah.
He needs to be focused on where he was.
That's
what he was doing.
That's why you train them young, maybe.
And that's what it is with Jason here, is that he's sitting by himself. He isn't probably told to sit and everything like that. He's just doing it.
No, she just told him, don't go far.
Yeah, don't go far. And he doesn't even like wander off or anything like that. And Lydia calls it out. I like that he has to tell his mom to focus.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we were all yelling at Hera to listen to her kid.
Shut the
right? When she's bouncing back and forth between Carson and Jason. Right? Did you? I know you're one that you tend to talk at the screen sometimes, and where you just like, listen to him.
I didn't get mad because it wasn't her. She did the one like she holds her hand out and she's like, hold on.
Yeah.
Like, Jason, not now.
Yeah.
But then when Jason said it again, she listened.
She locked in. Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, a lot of times when I'm yelling at characters is when they ignore the first 3 signs. It's like, you idiot, pay attention, kind of thing. But Carson's the one that really bothered me here.
I
understand where he's coming from. Don't get me wrong,
and he doesn't know anything.
But
he
does get clued in by Hu Yang, though.
Yeah, which we'll definitely get there. That's Jace, and then obviously, so I've got 2 things, and these kind of align at the same time. But Jason hearing the lightsabers,
dude, that's so cool.
That's exactly what I said. That's so fucking cool. Also, another sign this is not just in Ahsoka's mind. If he's hearing it, this is a reality. Like,
it has to
where
be
it's at, I don't know, but it's a reality.
Well, this plays into the episodes of Rebels that happens in the world between worlds, because they could like sense and see things happening.
Yeah,
but not in this reality kind of thing. It's almost like it's like an alternate reality.
Oh yeah,
just next door, kind of thing. And so to hear the lightsabers, okay, this fight's happening, and then not only did Jason hear them, But like my wife pointed out, he got Hera to listen.
Yeah.
And she heard him.
Do you think she heard him?
I think she
I
did.
think that's up in the air.
No, look at her. Look at her fucking
Yeah,
face. I watched it again last night.
Yeah.
She heard it.
I can see it either way.
No, she
my
heard it.
first thought she heard it, but then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, she's just trusting her fucking kid that she understands is plugged in.
He says, "Listen," and she's like, "The wave's crashing." And he's like, "No, the lightsabers." And she looks shocked. She closes her eyes. She listens, and then she opens her eyes all shocked, like, "Oh my god, I actually do hear it." And then she looked at Jason all shocked, because she realizes that he's sensing it and hearing it. But why can she hear it? It's because it's actually happening.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think there's enough ambiguity in there where you could see it either way. Because again, I'm not even really sold either way.
If she didn't hear it, she would have said something. She's like, "I don't hear anything, but I'm going to trust you," or something like that.
And here's the other thing: if she is hearing it, is she actually hearing it, or somehow is it coming off of Jason to her?
I think
because is she really is she force sensitive in any way?
I think she is.
Or is it?
She has had moments in Rebels that makes me think she's force sensitive, even a little bit. Now remember, not everyone is force sensitive. They talked about this earlier in this show. Not everyone is force sensitive to where they can move things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they can still get those feelings. They can still have those senses.
Han Solo
and
is
stuff like that.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely.
I think that's one of my favorite parts of The Force Awakens when he does that behind the back shot, because it's like that just proves more that like when you're someone that's a good pilot, you have at least some connection.
There's something in this galaxy for everyone, and some have it more than others. Hera has a little bit of the Force. Also, maybe she learned to recognize things without even having that big of a Force sensitivity, because she spent so much time with Kanan and with Ezra, and now she's raised Jason for what did we decide? 7, 8 years, 9 years?
No, I think he's like 10 or 11.
10 or 11
in there.
Yeah. After that long with that many Jedi, with different Jedi, you're going to get a feel for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that she felt it, and even if it comes off of Jason, she still felt it.
Yeah. So my next thing, there's a few shots in this episode that I want high res prints of to hang on my fucking wall. I feel like with Dave Filoni having an animation background, he really understands shot composition, maybe even better than some folks who have worked in live action their whole lives.
Yeah.
And this one is the first one that just blew my fucking socks off.
That's a great shot.
It's such a good shot with Chopper and Hera and Jason standing looking over the water. It just fucking masterful.
It's beautiful.
It's like I said, I want a freaking giant print of that and put it up on the wall.
Like a giant poster. Just put it right there on that wall right there.
So good, dude. Yeah, then also the use of the Force theme here. So fucking good.
Oh,
man.
nailed it.
Just,
but not the normal Force theme. Like there was a little bit of a change to it.
yeah, because ultimately it's Kevin Kiner versus John Williams. Yeah, they're not just going to play up the
No. They're not just going to.
He's going to do his own version
cue
of it.
John Williams up and everything.
Yeah.
I loved the change. I loved the little bit of subtlety change to it. I loved it.
Yeah, and my note is I've watched this episode at least a half a dozen times, and I probably watched at least 25 reaction videos. So every single reaction video showed this moment, and still there's not a single time after seeing it 30 something times now that I've not gotten chills from that music coming in.
It's so good.
It's so goddamn good. And I think there's a few things that Filoni and Favreau have done really well, and I think one of the biggest things is they've been very choosy when to use certain things. One example is Star Destroyers. We keep seeing light cruisers and smaller frigates and stuff. We don't see a lot of Star Destroyers. I think there's a reason for that. They want to make sure that when you pull that fucking thing out, it is impactful.
Oh shit!
And I think the other really big thing it's the point here is John Williams cues.
Yeah.
They have not used a lot of John Williams stuff. And so I think because they understand how potent it is, so they're going to be very choosy when they pull that fucking card out and play it.
Yep.
And masterful here. Like just masterful.
Nailed it.
So yeah, let's see. Let me go ahead and now next up we've got another where we just alluded to it. Carson asking what just happened, and Hugh Yang giving the Kanan Jarrus name dropped. I geeked out at this. Also, I feel like Carson is asking for all the folks who didn't watch Rebels.
Yep.
And also his deadpan okay might be the biggest laugh of the episode, but it does, it does have some competition.
It's good, but it's not the best, the funniest.
I'll be interested to hear what yours is, because there's a few, and I list them throughout where I'm like, this is a competition, but dude, this is at least in the game for one of the biggest laughs.
It's funny, but honestly, I had a moment here where my respect for Carson grew. Because a lot of times those non-force users and not super force sensitive people are like, okay, so like he feels something. So no, Hu Yang's like, yeah, his dad was a Jedi. It was Kanan Jarrus, and he's like, oh shit, let's go.
Yeah,
get up in the air, let's go.
Yeah,
we're listening to her. That kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's a real one, man.
Dude, I love him.
Carson.
Yeah,
he's wonderful.
They better not kill him.
I hope not. He's been around.
I'm sick and tired of X-wing pilots dying. I'm tired of it.
Unnamed X-wing pilot number 1 that died at the episode?
Last episode ago? Yeah, episode 4. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Bring him back. Stop killing X-wing pilots. There's only one X-wing pilot that deserved to die.
Too soon. Next section, Anakin and Ahsoka Part 2.
Oh boy.
The Fall, one of our first missions, Wounded Troops, Vader Flash. Let's go ahead and let me change the picture over and dive right in. So what do you got here? As you can tell, I'm going kind of granular on mine.
Yeah. The first thing I noticed here is this is where we were talking about just a little bit ago. Hayden Christensen's prowess with the lightsaber. He does the back twirl that he did against Obi-Wan in Episode 3. You caught that too?
I caught it for sure. And then, dude, there's a couple reaction videos where people like audibly, that back twirl thing.
He goes from one hand to the other behind his back, twirling the lightsaber. So fucking cool. He does it against Obi-Wan during the fight in Episode 3, the duel between him on Mustafar.
Yeah.
And I caught it. Dude, I instantly caught it.
That's actually my first note. I forgot it was my first note. As we come back, Anakin does the twirl spin move from Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
I audibly reacted to that, and you know me, I don't do that very often.
Dude, I missed it the first time watching when I rewatched it last night. I did the Leonardo DiCaprio. I did the point and everything like that. I'm like, hey.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Paused it, made a note and everything. I'm like, yeah, all right. I see what you're doing, Hayden.
I'm glad Ahsoka's holding her own here. She did it against Vader as well, so it would not have made sense for her to do anything but hold her own here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Anakin smiling after being kicked in the face. Holy shit. I love his performance so much. He's doing so good.
Oh, yeah.
And then, do you got anything before we go down?
No.
So I do have one thing, and I want to point out.
I said it earlier. I didn't realize my note was here.
His saber.
His saber. You can see a saber better here.
His ability. He's the best.
Yeah. No. The cutting the bridge.
Oh,
I said it earlier, but that's here. It's like where he's still got that sarcasm to him a little bit too, where it's like, I haven't taught you everything. Boom.
Yeah, so that's actually, I'm glad you said that, because that's actually my note. So I need to point this out, and I actually have not seen anyone mention this. All the reaction videos, I've seen nothing on social media. But just to check myself about the I've heard that before line, I was like, did she say that? I'm like, I don't remember her saying that in Twilight of the Apprentice, so I went back and watched the Twilight of the Apprentice duel. In one of my rewatches, I paused at that moment where he's like, I've heard that before. I paused, went over, pulled up YouTube, watched that duel again, which is always great.
Amazing.
She doesn't say it.
You have nothing more to teach me?
No, she doesn't say that. I'm not going to fight you, basically.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's a Luke line. I'm like, wait a minute. Did she say it in case, did she say it in Twilight of the Apprentice?
No,
I remember,
she wanted to fight him.
I remember there was some element of her holding back, and it was at the end where she's like, I'm not going to leave you, not again.
Yeah.
And that's what it was, but I had to go rewatch it to refresh it. But one thing I caught when I went back and rewatched it, Twilight of the Apprentice, last episode of Season 2 of Rebels, making sure she didn't say it, which she didn't, was Anakin steals her move here. In that temple in Rebels, Ahsoka jams her blades into the ground and causes the ground to fall out, and Vader goes falling down.
Oh.
So I've seen nobody else catch that.
Dude.
But Anakin is playing a fucking Ahsoka move against Ahsoka. So that's pretty cool. Because again, I'm just watching the whole thing because it's one of my all-time favorite duels. And when that happened, I'm like,
see, it is Anakin.
Yeah, this is fucking Anakin.
He fought her before, so he remembers that move and he used it against her.
So he is aware of his entire life. So this, I mean, I'm glad I was able to go back. Even though I rewatched Rebels, that's such a small thing that having seen him do, because it was on one of my rewatches that I did that pausing. I would never have done that the first time, but I was just like, it was cool to go back and rewatch that duel and then like, look, that move. So
She did it to him. Now he did it to her.
yeah. So then Filoni a few years ago talked about the white cloak that Ahsoka has at the end of Rebels, and he called it reminiscent of Gandalf, who becomes Gandalf the White after dying. So a ton of people have been latching onto that, rightfully so. But I did find that falling down the bridge here feels a little bit Gandalf-y, which maybe that's a word I just invented, but feels a little Gandalf-y falling down the bridge,
Gandalf.
doesn't it?
Well, oh yeah.
Very, very, somewhat reminiscent of Mr. Gandalf. But then we go down, right? What do you
get? Young Ahsoka.
Yes,
Live action young Ahsoka, which is just simply amazing.
And
I have a note later on, but I'll just say it right now. She's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. So I did already have the picture up, probably out in the wrong time period, but the picture before that was them where she's on the ground. You can't really tell. I mean, some people instantly caught it. I didn't catch that she was smaller when she was on the ground. Took her standing up and stuff.
I caught it instantly. I'm like, that's young Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And then she stood up, and
then we see Phase 1 clones.
Clone troopers running out of the smoke. Dude,
And
I'm getting chills for a third time. I got it watching it. I got it now when you pulled up the previous picture, and then I got it just again talking about it. Seeing those clones come running out of the smoke like that was, dude, it's one of my favorite shots.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. My favorite shot.
I'll throw it back up because that's what we're talking about. But
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out also it is Phase 1 clones because that's a teller too because the clone armor evolves. So
Yep.
The fall and much of what we see, the vast majority of the rest of the episode. I also wanted to point out almost the rest of the episode of the Ahsoka side of it is very heavily fogged. And whatever. So I want to call out one thing that I remembered from the days when I get really nerdy into like commentaries and shit, is there was one super dusty shot on Geonosis in Attack of the Clones where you see the troopers. You see the troopers move in one direction, the droids move in the other. It's all very foggy, but it's dust, and you're seeing the both colors of lasers highlighting everything. You remember? You know the shot I'm talking about.
It's right after they focus the fire out. Yoda tells them to focus the fire on the nearest Trade Federation ship
In normal voice,
and
not in Yoda speak.
And I'm not going to always talk.
No,
like
he
Yoda.
doesn't.
That's
that
right.
is the only line in Star Wars.
Yeah, focus.
Concentrate the
your
fire on the nearest starship. Because there's even a meme where the troops like, did you just talk normal?
Yeah, that's right. But then that ship comes down, and that's what creates the dust storm.
So then you got those shots. So there's a point. I don't remember if it was the commentaries or if it was an interview, but Lucas pointed to that shot, and he said, that is the Clone Wars. If you're going to synopsize the whole fucking thing, it is that shot.
Yep.
And I think Dave Filoni here is purposely evoking that by having the fog the whole time, because it's like, I mean, yeah, realistically, cost-wise, it's going to make it cheaper too because you don't have to animate as much. But I think more of it comes down because it's digital effects, man. They can afford it.
Yeah.
I think it really more comes down to he made a choice. I want this to look like what
this was.
Lucas said.
This wasn't to save money here. This was a choice. He wanted the ambiance here, and the clones just the music, and then her starting to stand up and just you get more and more like you get the trickle effect and everything like that, and then we get Anakin.
Yeah, then Anakin sparks a lightsaber in the distance, and you start to hear his voice. And then I did have the picture that I already prematurely went to, but I'll bring it back up because as she follows him, and we see him as mostly a silhouette at this first bit, but when you see the silhouette, it's Clone Wars Anakin's armor.
It is.
Like that was the main thing I was focusing on. So I'm like, is that the fucking armor, man? And I was watching so close.
It was the armor.
And I'm like, I think that's the armor. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's see. And then moving to this picture, the full reveal of young Ahsoka, played by Ariana Greenblatt, who was most famous for playing young Gamora in Infinity War. She was also apparently in the Barbie movie, which I have not seen yet. But
I still haven't seen it either.
But we've all seen Infinity War. We've all seen her.
What did it cost you?
As little baby Gamora.
Yeah.
Now
What did it cost you?
Yeah.
Everything.
What a job, man.
Oh,
I mean,
amazing.
Her acting, the makeup, the costume is exactly perfect. I mean,
the one lightsaber instead of two.
Everything here is perfect, man. A lot of people, I will say, I had to point out, reacted uncomfortably to seeing Ahsoka from this era in live action. It's so easy fully not to grasp the fact that she's only 14 years old when it's animated, but now to see her as a real person, people are like, she's a kid. Like
Yeah.
she's in a war zone. Like
it doesn't come through in the animation very well.
It doesn't. No.
Like I watched the Star Wars, the Clone Wars movie.
Did it make you uncomfortable when you finally saw her here and you're like, oh shit?
Oh my god,
She's 14.
that's like a couple years older than my daughter is right now. My daughter turns 11 next month. Like my daughter can't fight in a war. Like what are you talking about?
Did you have that reaction?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
That's why I was like, I've always known in my head that she is 14, and I try to keep that in my head. But it's just so easy in animation to lose that age, and it's just like, okay, whatever. She's just this badass warrior, but it's like, no, she is a fucking kid. And then when you see this, it's like, oh god, like punch to the gut, man. She is a 14-year-old soldier. So, and then there's an explosion, and we see an ATTE in the background, and then we get the full reveal of Clone Wars Anakin, and holy fuck, everything about it is perfect. The hair, the outfit, the performance,
amazing.
Everything about it is absolutely fucking perfect.
I love how casually he's deflecting bolts while talking to her.
And I do have
like there's I think 1 or 2 times right here where I'm going to look at you, but he's looking at her while bolts are coming from behind, and he just blocks them and everything like that. Dude, unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal talent, unreal ability from Anakin in this to be able to block shots without even looking and everything. Also at the same time he's protecting Ahsoka a little bit by standing in front of her because she doesn't have her lightsaber ignited. She's not defending herself in any way.
Yeah.
Just amazing to see General Skywalker.
Yeah. I'm also going to call it out. I want to see if you caught this. Hayden is not only portraying his Anakin Skywalker, but he has absolutely 100% added shades of Matt Lanter's.
Oh, absolutely.
Anakin Skywalker.
Nailed it.
Which I'm getting chills because it's just because it's not the same.
No.
They're two different takes on the character. He has merged them together, and like I'm like full on like goosebumps. And he's merged them. This is
beautiful.
It's absolutely incredible because he's openly said that the Clone Wars is an amazing show. He's watched the entire thing.
He loves it.
He appreciates what it did for the movies and everything. But it just feels like there's some actors that would be kind of like whatever. It's me. Fuck the.
I'm going to go play
shit.
the character that I've already played in 3 movies and in a TV show and a Disney Plus series. I'm not gonna worry about that cartoon version of it. I'm not gonna worry. No, Hayden Christensen's a true fan, a true student of the game and everything like that, and just wants the best.
Yeah.
So he merges those two Anakins together to make the best, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And then she calls it one of our first missions. That gives them the flexibility of not nailing down which one.
Yeah,
which
this isn't the one that's in the movie.
Yeah,
I thought that
would be it when they first saw those first clone troopers. I was like, the first mission.
Nope.
But then she says one of our first missions. I'm like, okay, so it's not going to be that one.
Yeah, because that one never really had like the dust or the smoke that we saw.
Yeah,
and everything like that. So
yeah. And then and the green lightsaber when she finally ignites it and starts following him.
Not white.
I love it. Yeah, not white, not blue, but the green to start off. Not that I would expect them to mess that up, but it's just one of those things.
If Dave messes something up like that, that's when we're gonna know that he's been replaced by an alien.
by a body snatcher.
Yeah. Ahsoka has purple lightsaber. It's like, nope, that's not Dave Filoni.
It's not him. So then we get to the Clone Wars MASH unit. I love seeing a 2-1B droid in the background.
Yeah, the one that's worked on Luke, the one that's worked on
everyone. They're
Fett.
Yeah, they're all over the place, man.
Yeah.
It's always one of my favorite droids as a kid. I don't know why. I've always loved that droid.
They make you feel better.
They're just cool. Yeah. And then Ahsoka showing compassion for the wounded troopers is really cool. We do see some Twi'leks. Makes me wonder if this is Ryloth.
I have a note about that. Is this Ryloth?
Yeah, and that's an early mission. The first battle of Ryloth is very early in the Clone Wars. So I do think this is probably because that's the question is that first thing that's happening? Are we evolving through different battles? I know we do when we have the next cut, but here is when she wakes up and she's moving with those phase 1 clones. And then here at the hospital, are those the same battles, or is this? I
will say in the
sifting?
first shot with the clones, there are no Twi'leks. In
the
second shot,
there are. So
there are.
Well, I'm wondering if
it very well could be a second. It could be. Honestly, you know what it is? I'm gonna say yes for one reason. Here's my evidence. You can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. You can do the lawyer thing if you want for our closing arguments. Ahsoka doesn't give orders her very first couple missions.
Yeah.
but she talks about how she got those clones
Got them
hurt.
killed, yeah.
She's responsible for it. I think that's because Anakin and Ahsoka split up on Ryloth. And They
Yeah.
actually did, if memory serves, in that mission.
Yeah.
And she got them killed and hurt,
Yeah.
which makes me think that it is a separate one.
Yeah. So then we also see Rex in the distance
Dude,
with Anakin and some Twi'leks.
dude.
Did
we just see him?
Did you Leo it?
It's no, but I'm like, it could be Rex. He has like the little skirt thing that Rex always had and everything. But is it Rex? It probably is. I mean, that's always the guy that's with Anakin. But I'm not gonna geek out too much. It's just a guy in the distance. You know,
Yeah.
it's just is this in her head now? Is this real? You know, I'm not gonna geek out too much. I was actually geeking out a lot about the Twi'leks. It's the most Twi'leks we've ever seen on screen. At one time.
It's
We saw 7 or 8 Twi'leks here.
Yeah.
That's the most Twi'leks we've ever seen.
Yeah, indeed.
We've seen them. We've seen 7. We've seen more Twi'leks throughout,
Spread out.
but never congregated together. It's the
Not
first
live
time,
action.
No, not
Yeah,
live action.
Not live action. I love the conversation about cost and guilt. It felt very echoey of what we're going to end up seeing with Anakin and Revenge of the Sith. In that opening scene, he wants to go back and help the troops, and Obi-Wan says, "No, they can't do
Nope.
it. We got to do it. They're doing our job, so we can do ours."
Yep.
Also, cool throwback to Mace Windu's line, "Keeper of the peace and not soldiers," because he says, "You know, when Obi-Wan taught me, we were keepers of the peace, but now I have to teach you to be a soldier."
Yep.
It was a cool little echoing of.
I have
that line.
I have 2 really big talking points here
'Kay.
involving this exchange between Anakin and Ahsoka. I would like to save them for last of this section.
Okay.
So go through the rest of your stuff. Those are my last 2.
Of the conversation portion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Anakin saying teaching is all it's cracked out to be. It's another good chuckle for me. I don't know if it's in the same level of like a laugh, but it made me chuckle.
Well, we've all been there teaching people.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And then Anakin talking about what he intends to teach her. Looking forward, he did a good job as she obviously becomes a survivor and a great warrior. So just flash forwarding, he does a great job. So if we're talking conversation, what I've got from now on is after the conversation breaks and Anakin walks away. So
Okay.
what do you got?
Mine's before that. Anakin giving the speech about being taught to be keepers of the peace and how he is teaching her to be a soldier because they are at war. Then there's a flash of Vader shows to me, because we're going to get there.
Yeah.
We get the flash of Vader as he's walking away here. Shows to me that Anakin fell during the Clone Wars. Not before, not in Palpatine's office, not turning on Windu. I think it shows here. That's what caused him to fail. It goes to what you said. It goes to what you've said. The Jedi have lost their way as a whole.
Yeah, and
because they're not soldiers. They're not supposed to be soldiers. They should not be doing this.
I think, like, I don't know that there's like a singular moment outside of Mace Windu that's like the fall, but I think that it's a death by 1,000 cuts. Like that's what I'm saying.
It's
the mom breaking in the mom.
Yep.
Not ever engaging him to help him deal with the fact he's having dreams about his mom. Like it's his death by 1,000 cuts. And I think the Clone Wars is certainly going to be a big part of it.
I
'cause
know
it's
that-
like you're a soldier. Like,
Yeah.
that's not. Even though he's very compassionate, very, he's the best of us type thing.
I think this goes to those ones that are like, oh, Anakin fell in Palpatine's office when he cut off Mace Windu's arm. When he defends Palpatine, that's when he fell. No, Anakin fell during the Clone Wars. Anakin killed Dooku. Anakin fell and was falling well before Palpatine's office. I just want to stress that I don't think that he has a singular, like you said, he doesn't have a singular moment.
Yeah.
I think he fell. He started falling with his mother.
I wouldn't say fell. I would say falling.
Falling.
Because I think it's more.
Thank you.
Because I think when you say fell, that makes it sound like it's a foregone conclusion. But I think that there's like the act of falling is his whole life. I mean, it's.
I think the only thing that could have kept him from
Qui-Gon.
Honestly, to this point, I believe talking about post episode 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because he doesn't start getting trained as a Jedi until after that. So I think that from the beginning of episode 2 through the end of episode 3, I think the only thing that could have saved Anakin, because the Clone Wars took a toll on him, is Padme. I think Padme is the only one. Is the whole thing, let's walk away. I think she had that conversation too late with Anakin. If she has that in the middle of the Clone Wars here, and he has Ahsoka asking questions like this, I think he walks away, and I think he still fights, but I don't think that he falls.
Yeah.
Because I think the problem is that this ideology here that Anakin is stressing, that's for peacetime. This is war. No, you can't lose your identity. You're
Yeah.
a Jedi.
Yeah.
Are you a Jedi or are you not?
Yeah.
And that's what the end of my note here, and it kind of got overshadowed with what we're talking about. It goes to what you've always said about the Jedi in Episode 3. They have lost their way.
Yeah.
And you literally said it right before my note.
Yeah.
Mace Windu said, "We are keepers of the peace, not soldiers."
In Episode 2.
Anakin here is saying that they're soldiers.
Yeah.
And that he is training his Padawan to be a soldier.
Yeah.
So that goes to my second note here. That's the nice transition to my second note. Ahsoka asks him if all he has to teach her is war, what is she going to teach her Padawan? How to fight?
Yeah.
And Anakin goes, "Do you really want a Padawan?" You know that but
Yeah.
let's not deflect away from that. Her question is heavy when you think about it. If there is no Order 66 and there is no Palpatine being a Sith Lord, what if he really is just a senator, right? Relinquish his power back. What would the next generation of Jedi be like
You're
after the Clone Wars?
Yeah, you're corrupting everything.
We're going to have so many fallen Jedi. We're going to have so many Sith. You know, what are we going to have of these Jedi? These Jedi are going to be soldiers. It's like after any major war. What did you have in America after World War II? What did you have in America after Korea or after Vietnam? You didn't just have normal men. You had men who had seen things, you know?
Yeah.
And you're going to have these Jedi who are supposed to be training the next generation of Jedi who have droids like Hu Yang teaching this is not the Jedi way. Avoid conflict. Avoid violence. And they're
Yeah.
going to be like, well, unless you have to, because I had to during the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
What kind of Jedi would we have had post Episode 3 if Anakin sided with Mace Windu and brought Palpatine to justice?
Yeah, no, it would have been a slower death, but it would have still been
They're falling.
And I think that's what it ultimately comes down to is Qui-Gon knew that from Episode 1. He
says it.
was the true Jedi, and when Obi-Wan's like, if you just quit fighting with them, you'd be on the council, and
Well,
he's just
maybe
like,
I'm not fighting with them because they're not following the
the
teachings
true
of the Jedi.
way. Yeah. So you alluded to it. This is maybe the best shot in the episode, in my opinion. And honestly, this is up there for one of my favorite shots in the history of Star Wars.
It's up there.
Like,
It's not my favorite in the episode.
give me a fucking print of this, dude. Oh my god. This with the triangular V formation with the clones, the Twi'leks, Anakin, just oh my god, dude. Like this, it took my breath away. I was just like, when this, I was like, holy fuck. And then obviously, what follows is, we'll go ahead and change it on over there because what it is a flash, and we see Darth fucking Vader
With a red lightsaber walking into battle.
into the battle. Yep.
Yep.
So holy.
And this
shit.
is what I'm talking
this-
about. This is what comes up instantly after Anakin gives that speech about I'm training you to be what you need to be and everything like
Yeah.
that. If what you need to be is turning him into this, what is that turning Ahsoka into?
Yeah.
What is that turning the other Jedi that are learning this and everything like that?
Yeah.
Balin says it a couple times. The Jedi lost their way.
Yeah.
And he's talking about stuff like that. And there's a line in episode in the 6th part
Yeah.
that Balin says about that. And I'm 100% convinced now that Anakin didn't fall in Palpatine's office. Like a lot of people think that's where the stone fell off the cliff. The stone fell off the cliff long before.
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure.
It's just been falling.
It was a rolling stone for a long time.
Yeah.
And then I flipped it to the third image, which is back to Anakin. Holy shit, does this not just look like the Clone Wars Anakin?
Yeah.
More so than even the first one.
that could be animated straight out of an episode of Clone Wars.
That's what I thought. I was like, the third image, more so than any of the others, that third image when it flashes back to him after Vader, I'm like, that looks like fucking Clone Wars. That
no
is
Twi'leks, no clone troopers
just
or anything.
him.
Just him.
Like if you just showed me this like a month ago before any of this show started, I would be like,
You're
oh,
like,
well,
I don't remember that from Clone
Well,
Wars.
I don't remember Clone Wars.
Yeah,
well enough
exactly.
to know. I would have been like, oh, cool, that's a cool image from Clone Wars. So, just brilliant. And then the performance by Ariana Greenblatt here with this specifically is where she really, I mean, she's been doing great everywhere, but this reaction shot of her, holy hell, dude. Like, just holy fuck.
Because this is not just young Ahsoka. This is
This is 14-year-old. Or
this
yeah,
is her and Ahsoka.
her mind.
I think she's remembering here.
No,
I think the flash of Vader like triggers her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my god!"
She does because she's like, "Oh, this is the Clone Wars." Because so this is adult Ahsoka's mind. It's just in the
in the body of 14-year-old Ahsoka.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But oh my god, dude, what a fucking performance from her. She is done incredible. So is that you got anything else here?
No, those were my big things. Is like, what would the Jedi look like? Dude, that's haunting me to think about, like an alternate timeline of what if for Star Wars. There's your number one episode right there. What if Anakin sided with Mace Windu and took out Chancellor Palpatine or Darth Sidious, whatever you want to call him? Not Darth Sidious. Yeah, Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
And everything. It doesn't matter. The Jedi are still doomed. They are.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. We are going pretty long. I am going to try to abbreviate some of my notes. So, what do you got for Cetos here? Part 3, flying the sweeps, Hugh Yang and Hera's discussion, and then being asked to get lower.
I just have 2 quick notes. I love Hu Yang's description of Anakin.
Intense,
dude. Perfect. Also, I caught in this one. I was watching your pictures from before. I just didn't notice it until here. We get a really good close up of Jason. He's got the one arm armor, just like Kanan used to wear.
It's just like his,
dude. It can't be his, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but it looks exactly like Kanan used to wear, and I wonder where that idea came from.
Oh, for sure,
dude. It was so cool when I realized it. I realized it here, because there's a shot of him and he like smiles when he realizes like. No, he doesn't. No, that's the wrong scene. He's sitting here and he's like focusing, like watching them fly, and you get a shot of him and you see a really clear shot of his shoulder, and I'm like, hell yeah,
yeah.
Just like his papa.
I love Hera's rolling her eyes when Jason says Chopper says she has to get low.
I love that Chopper's not even talking to her. It's like
and that telephone game they're doing, that cracked me up too, because that just feels like such a kid thing. She's asking how low. You hear, like, it's just it brought warm feelings to my heart, as Yoda would say.
It's classic Rebels too.
Oh, it is.
Zeb hanging from a line. Chopper, come get us. You know, like talking to someone to tell Chopper to come get us, and then they say to come get them.
Yeah, and there's some other stuff I had here, but I just want to make sure because we have time for episode 6.
Yes.
I figured if we had about 1 and quarter to 25 minutes or 1 hour 25 minutes ish of this episode, that might be about right. But we are dragging a little bit. There's a lot.
Let's push.
So now we're back to Ahsoka Part 3, Anakin and Ahsoka, Siege of Mandalore. So let's go on. We got Ahsoka fighting. Now she has the 2 blades. Gives us an indicator that this is the Siege of Mandalore, because Anakin gave it to her right before that. Right before the start of Revenge of the Sith, which for her, she diverts to Mandalore while Anakin goes back to Coruscant to save the Chancellor. So kicking some Mandalorian ass.
Amazing. Also, symbology of the one that is painted like Darth Maul.
I have a picture of that. The Maldalorians is what a lot of people call them. It's Death Watch. So
because they've cited Darth Maul's leading Mandalore at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So we got that. Let me see if and then I've got another great picture here, I think, up on the screen.
Yeah,
just her in the badass pose.
Yep.
And then let's see. I also pulled this image specifically, and thank God we're not covering them. I have at least one. The Ahsoka troopers.
Yep.
Did you notice them? Mm-hmm. Okay, because it's hard to get a shot. There's very few shots we actually get of them. But that is the Ahsoka troopers, which is the 332nd Company of the 501st Legion.
Yep.
They ended up painting their helmets with Ahsoka's design. So that's pretty cool. And obviously this is Phase 2 clone armor. You can always tell because they have more of the Stormtrooper shaped eyes.
Yep.
Whereas it's very T-shaped with the Phase 1. That's how I always pick the two apart. So yeah, we are definitely along. And then
Rex
and Tem's voice, Tamora Morrison voicing it. Holy shit, I geeked out so hard. I thought after the bandage face guide they couldn't get Tem involved. So I was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one to
Yes.
have his voice here.
Yes,
So,
so cool to hear him. We'll set up a perimeter, and it's like, yeah, Rex.
yeah, it's so good.
Got
man.
the 2 pistols, dual wielding pistols, like he always did, and everything.
Yeah, and then this shot just felt like Clone Wars so much to me. Ahsoka with the crossed arms. It just felt exactly like what we saw on Clone Wars.
Yep.
And then we have Anakin joining him. The whole speech about legacy is pretty cool. To look at Ahsoka in this post-Return of the Jedi world and realize her lineage goes all the way back from Anakin to Obi-Wan to Qui-Gon to Dooku. That's pretty fucking cool. That's just insane to think about. And I really love that. Is that what this is about? That line. I don't think that that's really him trivializing it either. But I do think that as the chosen one, Anakin now in this larger spiritual sense, I don't think that he's going to fixate on any one point of his life or not. Like, I don't think that Vader is that big in his mind anymore. I don't think that's whereas most people would view that as that's his biggest part of his existence. Like, I don't think he views it that way. So
He's
it's
been
just
fighting since he was 10 years old.
yeah. And he's just like, oh, so that's what this is about. And then I also love this conversation because I've been saying for a long time now that I don't think that Ahsoka's Vader trauma is guilt. I think that is Obi-Wan's. But here we see that for her it is a fear of what he did and what is she inheriting from him. So it's more of a fear.
Yeah, kind of like what we were talking about just a second ago with me. And what are you training them to be?
Yeah.
What are you making the next generation of Jedi to be? And Ahsoka's dealing with that knowledge now that, oh God, what are you making me?
Yeah.
What are you molding me into?
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Let's see. And then we get to he gets mad, throws a lightsaber out, and it is red.
Still Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, still Luke's hilt with the lightsaber. That did remind me, do you remember before Revenge of the Sith trailers came out, me and you were debating whether the lightsaber would turn red because he went dark?
Yeah.
Like it was like some kind of mood ring. And we were just like, it's got to be red versus blue. It can't be blue versus blue.
And we ended up getting blue versus blue.
Yeah, we did, but it was just
we were both like...
This made me think of those conversations back in the day because I was like, oh, look, the right hilt, like the Anakin hilt with the Vader blade.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. And then he, of course, turns around and he is full-on Darth Vader at this point because Darth Vader is not him in the suit. He is Darth Vader the second he becomes a Sith Lord. There's way too many people that...
misconstrue that.
He's not Vader.
He is Vader for such a short amount of time before the suit.
True, but I just for the people that like cut the line of the suit is Vader and everything before that's Anakin. No.
The duel on Mustafar, choking out Padme, killing the Separatists, that was all Vader. Marching on the Jedi Temple, Vader. That's not Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
There is a line there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So then they start fighting again, or she says,
I won't fight you.
I won't. Or no. He says something about whatever. She just says no.
Yeah, and he says
incorrect.
Incorrect.
And was that not a James Earl Jones delivery? That
incorrect.
That was a different vocal intonation for that than it was for the rest. So
again, Hayden blending the different people who have played Vader into one.
Yeah, and then he kicks her out back in the world between worlds.
And this is the best shot in Star Wars.
So starts off with Anakin coming through, but we do hear the breathing, and there was me and a number of people in the reaction videos that thought it was going to be Vader coming out. Obviously, the way the scene plays out, it had to be Anakin, not Vader. But, of course, Filoni hits us again with that flash, and we see Darth Vader coming through.
This is the best shot in Star Wars.
Another one. Give me a fucking image. Put on the wall, Dave.
This is the best shot in this episode, and probably one of the best shots in Star Wars.
I can't argue.
I love the one of Anakin walking away in the shot of Vader, but this here where Anakin flexes and he's got the anger. You can feel the anger in him and everything. He's got it so bad. He's rolling his shoulders. He's so mad.
Yeah,
and everything, and that is Vader.
Yeah.
And then you get the flash of Vader, and then it's back to him, and he flexes again, and then he comes at her. And he comes at her so hard and so fast and so angry. That is so well done with the breathing as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much better than the first one for me.
It's so good.
I can't get enough of it.
So the one thing I wanted to talk about here is there's been a lot of people like kind of discussing one way or the other here, but she ends up disarming him after she gets disarmed. She puts the lightsaber to his throat.
Yep.
The question then becomes, this image are those Sith eyes.
Oh yeah.
Ahsoka. Oh yeah, I think so.
Oh
too.
yeah.
I think so too. Because like
You see it like the anger and everything like that, and then she pulls back.
Because the image before, she has blue eyes. There's no way blue eyes and a red blade are going to make orange, yellow eyes. She is 100% Sith eyes here, which is the perfect thing for her worrying about becoming Vader or Anakin, or
But she pulls herself back.
But she does pull back. She does the Luke thing, throws the saber away. Very evocative of Luke in Return of the Jedi. Anakin closes his eyes, or Vader closes his eyes.
Go back to that image real fast. Ahsoka.
Yeah. What?
You can very clearly see here that it's not Vader's lightsaber. Is all I was going to say.
Oh yeah,
So-
there's no debate on that.
And then-
episode 4 there was, but
and
this,
then-
this episode not so much.
And then Rosario's Dawson's delivery here of "I choose to live,"
Yeah.
dude, it gives me chills every
Yeah.
time I think about it.
And then Vader closes his eyes. What I put this down as is Hayden Christensen doing his Christopher Reeve thing, because he's basically, I mean, yes, they're doing some CG on his eyes to make him yellow or not, but outside of that, the whole transformation here is him as an actor. Because when he opens his eyes again and they're blue, and it's just the way he holds his face, it's different. That smile,
that half smile,
that Han Solo smile, and then he says, "There's hope for you yet," and then vanishes. World Between Worlds turns into water. She gets kind of a baptism here. And then we're back to Cedos, and she's in the water. The biggest reason I think she died and came back is twofold. One, if it is Gandalf the White, I think that the death and rebirth is an element to that. But also here, as we see this underwater portion, if you watch it, she is floating back up toward the surface.
She's coming back up.
So she either would be floating or sinking. There's no way that she's going to go down that long, because again, he's hearing the lightsabers up on top. So this isn't like it was 1 second, but she perceived it as 20 minutes. No. This is a period of time. There's no way that she's going to sink and then float back up. No, she died, and now she's coming back and raising back up.
Yep.
So that's my biggest evidence.
I don't think her body was in the water during that. I think she was in the world between worlds.
Oh, I see.
I don't think that it was a we've seen physical people be in the world between worlds.
Yeah.
Ezra went there. So I think, again, what we talked about last time, she was knocked down into the world between worlds. And then when she chose to live, she was ejected out. And where did she go? Where her body was previously. Like you said, she had sunk down from landing in the water.
Yeah.
And when she comes back, the natural state of a body, not a human body, but a natural state of a body in salt water is float.
Yeah.
And that's why she's going back towards the surface, is because of that.
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah. We got the Coast Guard X-Wings here. Also, Lander is the guy that was called out here. You also heard Carson call him later and say, "Hey, Lander, get ready to take off."
Yeah.
This is played by Brendan Wayne, who is one of the main body doubles for Din Djarin
Oh, okay.
in The Mandalorian, as well as his grandpa was a famous guy with the last name Wayne.
John?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I am going to. We have some shots of the ships come back. Jason's happy. He could sense that she's there. He doesn't need to see it. Great music from Kevin Kiner. And then I am speeding a little bit to make sure that we don't run out of time. I do have to throw this up. One of the most disturbing images in the history of Star Wars. Ahsoka without the headband.
Yeah. What? No.
Dude, it took me out of the scene so hard, because I'm like, wait, something's wrong here. What is it? And I was looking closer, like, oh my God. We have never seen her, or I don't think we've seen any of them of her species without a headband. So
Yeah.
It was very strange. And I'm sure, Filoni did it for a reason, but I'm not a fan. Let's see. And then Jason's out talking or playing with Chopper like a dog. Ahsoka comes out. He's obviously heard some stuff. She tells him. She also has a white
robe.
like not even a full robe, but like a coverall for the top. Not a robe yet, but it's very Gandalf.
White cloak.
Yeah, Gandalf-y. Let's see here, and then
One note here: Jason being like we all would if we met Hu Yang. You know how to build a lightsaber? Yeah. Will you show me?
Yeah.
No.
You have a training? Can you train me? Yes.
Will you
Can
train me?
No.
Do you know how to build a lightsaber?
Yes.
Will you show me?
No. So that may be the biggest laugh of the episode for me was
Not
Hugh
for me.
Yang.
Not for me.
Let's see. Also, I said also a laugh. Also, because you're asking Hugh Yang if he knows how to build a lightsaber. Why don't you just ask Chopper if he knows how to kill people? Because
Or ask Hera if she knows how to fly.
yeah, seriously. So there's that. I had the image up of Hera and Ahsoka. It's not. My freaking thing is. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, she asked where Sabine is.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I didn't want to discuss this. I know we don't. Let's see. Do you think that Hera is open to Jason being trained? I thought about that as like Hugh Yang was saying no. You see Hera overlooking it. I just want to lay out my case because my answer is no. I don't think she will allow him to be trained. I get the feeling she doesn't want it for him. After all, she's lost the love of her life. In Rebels, they called Sabine and Ezra the kids, and she lost both of them now after they started pursuing this. Sabine is gone after learning from Hera. It seems that most of the people she cares for that have gone down this path she has lost, and I can absolutely see her saying absolutely fucking not for her kid. I am not letting my kid go down that.
He's too old now, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, for the old
So
Jedi
which means
way.
that she's probably said no to someone.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, this is taking place during season 2 of Mandalorian. Luke's not building anything.
I don't know about that actually. Timeline wise, I was thinking it was timeline. Yeah, we'll get there. So let's see. She sees the Purgils. We get Mon Mothma being kind of a wet blanket. Ahsoka's demeanor has totally changed. She doesn't seem down or bleak as much as she has so far in most of the live action stuff.
Yep.
She's seeming very up and happy. So Hugh Yang and the whales, everything here looks great. And then we get to this space stuff. Sorry, I know I'm speeding, but I don't think there's as much to discuss unless you've got something.
This is the best humor in the episode.
Which part?
You're going to tell me what's going on, and I'll see if I can help. All right.
Oh.
But you're not going to believe it. Dude, his delivery of that line had me fucking laughing. I fucking loved it.
Okay. That's
the
good.
way he says that. And then also explain that to someone. Oh, she's going to fly her ship into a whale and travel across the stars.
Yeah. I do want to throw this image up because now we have the full Ahsoka the White costume.
There it is. Ahsoka the White.
So, and I do think this may be my favorite costume I've ever seen on Ahsoka in animation or live action.
Yep.
So, love that quite a bit.
The fleet dodging the Purgils reminded me a lot of Star Trek. Take evasive action.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Like they come Star Trek the movie where they're about to come out of hyper light speed, and he's like, wait, no, we're gonna get ambushed. And they come out and the fleet's destroyed, but they were slow getting off is the only reason they weren't destroyed too.
Yeah.
So that's what the Purgils coming towards them. That's what that reminds me of. Is like the evasive maneuvers, kind of thing.
So I will say, actually, at the end of all things, I did come to the conclusion. My biggest laugh is I have no idea what what it could go anywhere. That fucking killed me every time I've watched it. That killed me. So then Ahsoka with her Clone Wars fortune cookie. Again, the attitude is night and day difference of what we've seen so far. Let's see. Also, the conversation here reminds me of Lando and Leia at the end of Empire. You know, we'll find him. We promise, that kind of stuff. Purgils look great. Doing the hyperspace thing in live action, that's pretty cool. And then, huge shout out to Filoni. This episode was incredible.
I got a little speech for you.
Yeah. As we move on to.
Yeah. Right before are you done?
No,
with
yeah.
episode 5?
I think most of my other
Okay.
notes are pretty small.
No, I want to save it for last. So
No. I'm gonna skip the rest of my notes for this episode.
You're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 5 of Ahsoka is the best thing that Disney has put on screen for Star Wars, and I'll say that over anything in Rebels, 7, 8, and 9, Mandalorian, even with Grogu. Grogu's cute and everything like that. Amazing to see all the flashbacks. Amazing to see Luke in live action again and everything. Seeing Mandalorians being so center stage and everything like that. I don't care. This right here is the best thing that Disney's put on screen for Star Wars. Hands down.
And
for me.
And for me, I mostly agree with you. The only thing that makes me hard pressed for that is I love The Last Jedi so much.
I love everything. I love everything about The Last Jedi. You know, I'm a fan of that movie, like a lot of people and everything.
For me, it's 1A and 1B.
It's like really close.
It's
this. Seeing Ahsoka and Anakin, seeing the Clone Wars, seeing
so
Rex,
good.
seeing Mandalorians, the Siege of Mandalore and everything.
Yeah.
All of that. Dude, light years ahead of everything else for me.
Yeah.
I love a lot of Star Wars that has come out for Disney.
Oh, yeah.
You know I liked 9.
Oh, yeah,
I liked 7.
We're not negative on all of
Yep.
this. It's more of just the fact of this stands fucking tall. This is
the stuff between Ahsoka and Anakin. Like
It's-
I already talked to you a little bit
give me a
about
mini-series
it.
with
Yeah.
these two. Give me Ariana Greenblatt and Hayden Christensen.
I'll watch every second
me
of
a-
it probably 4 times.
Give me a 10-episode run where you
Yep.
just whatever, even if it's just one.
Give me the best of the
something.
Clone Wars. Filoni, go through and pick out your 10 best episodes of the Clone Wars and remake them live action. I'm there. I'll donate money to it if I have to.
Hook it to my veins.
Hook it. Yep.
We both had the thought at the same time. I like I said, I mostly agree. The only thing
Yeah.
is my love for The Last Jedi. And also I was going to say, too, I think this may be, again, I can't put it over The Last Jedi in terms of, but beauty. The beauty of this episode. And I do
So
think
well
Ryan
shot.
Johnson had some really beautiful images. That's the only reason I can't say this is the most beautiful shot thing that we've seen so far is because Last Jedi is
Yep.
there. So again, 1A, 1B. Like for me, it's just,
Yep.
it's, and
And it's great to see that both of us loved it so much and everything, and that
Oh.
it's right up there. But for me, this blew everything out of the water.
Yeah.
Everything in Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, everything in 7, 8, and 9. Chewie and everything like that in 7, 8, and 9. As much as I love Chewie and he's my favorite character, I'm telling you right now, these characters, Ahsoka, is climbing the ladder fast.
Yeah.
Chewie better watch his back. I'm telling you. And Sabine, I love Sabine. She's not even in this episode.
yeah, not even.
She's my favorite character in Rebels,
Yeah.
and she's not even in this
no,
episode.
No Balin Skull in this
No
episode.
Balin Skull, who I'm a huge fan of right
Yeah.
now.
Shin Hati.
Shin, your crush right now.
God, dude.
She's amazing, dude.
It's great.
And then we don't even have Thrawn in episode 6. We have Thrawn.
Yeah. So let's.
And I'm just saying it, man. Episode 5 of Ahsoka is the best thing Disney's put on film.
All right. So we're gonna. I mean, I don't think there's as much deep for this, but I do think we're. Let's see. We do have some stuff to talk about though for episode 6. Which
Let's
is,
get to the later parts of the episode because that's where it all is.
well, Far, Far Away is the title of the episode.
We got to talk about that. That's so cool.
The opening. I was wondering what your thought was because
Dude.
that's a mixed thing for some people. Some people are like whatever, but for me, I'm like, I think what's okay for me is because now you've established there is another galaxy. So the whole idea of a galaxy, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, that would have really not been good. But now that you have another galaxy and they know about it, I'm okay with it.
I don't care.
Yeah, but
I didn't care. I don't care about the technicalities. I don't care. I love it when they say the name of this show. I'm always Leonardo DiCaprio. They said the name. They said the name. I love it.
there's
I love
some
it.
elements of self-referential. Like Colin Trevorrow's original idea for 9 was going to be called Duel of the Fates. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
That's just... No, that's the name of one of the greatest songs in Star Wars. Don't name a fucking movie that.
Yep.
So that would have been that way, except for the fact they established another galaxy, because then at least shows me that, okay, another galaxy, they know it exists, so that might be something where it's like a long time ago in a land far, far away.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I'm okay with
Once
it.
upon a time in a land far away.
It brought a big fucking smile to my face for sure.
I liked Hu Yang pointing history of the galaxy part 1, part 2, part 3, part 1 being the best. Is that a hint of future projects? We have a Star Wars movie coming down the pipe that is going to be about the establishment of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Is History of the Galaxy Part 1 Hu Yang's story about the establishment of the Jedi? I'm telling you right now, we saw that clip.
Maybe.
Dave Filoni is a fucking master planner, and he's a son of a bitch hiding things like that from us. Right here is he hinting at future projects.
Well, they already have it confirmed that James Mangold is doing a Dawn of the Jedi movie.
I know, that's what I'm talking about. Right here, Filoni is hinting.
No, so maybe, but here's the things. I will say that's another in a universe thing for Ahsoka to say the first one's the best. When we're talking trilogies, it's the original trilogy. Is
I
always
missed
the best,
that.
right?
I didn't think about that. But no, I'm just saying. I think Filoni here because you sent me a reel.
Yeah. Oh, he's a master.
And this is talking about Far, Far Away.
Yeah.
Right. You sent me a reel where they asked him, what is this, like a year or two ago? And they're like, he's talking about before Ahsoka
where's
was
Ezra?
Where's Ezra? He's like, oh yeah, he's far. You want me to tell you where he is? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, far, far away. And everyone's like, but here we are. Far, far away is the name of the episode.
He's the man.
I'm telling you, History of the Galaxy Part 1.
So
I feel like that's an Easter egg.
I was talking a bit about timelines last time. I was thinking that because Book of Boba Fett, they say there's 2 years between Book of Boba Fett and season 2 of Mandalorian, and then there was a thought because I think most of my hopes had been that this would squeeze in between there, because Book of Boba Fett's where you see Ahsoka and Luke, and I'm like, I want to see that meeting. I don't want that to be a thing that happened off screen. So I was hoping this might take place in there. I don't think that's the case. There's a few things. One, she doesn't have white robes in Book of Boba Fett.
Nope.
Two, right here in this, when they're in the whales, is this the other side of what we saw when Grogu was seeing the whales and he was reaching out to him? Is he sensing Ahsoka when Mando and he are
They're flying next to each other
in season 3, and he looks over and you see the Pugils?
Oh, maybe.
Is he sensing? He would know Ahsoka.
Hey, it's anti-Ahsoka.
Yeah. So my belief now is that this is after everything we've seen. So
Okay.
that is unfortunate. Although they could give us a flashback to show me Luke and Ahsoka meeting, because that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything else that in this section? Then let's move on to the Eye of Sion. Sabine is in a cell. Seems as though Baylan Skoll has altered the deal as he is talking with Sabine.
Shocking!
Especially,
the bad guy didn't keep up on his word. Oh my God! It's almost like this happens every fucking time.
especially with the line to Elsbeth about Ezra blinding her and them still being of use to them. That is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like both sides. Like she's like, oh, we had a deal, but then he goes out there and Elsbeth's like, you still mean to uphold your deal? And he's like, she's blinded by Ezra.
She
She's
still has use.
It's like, dude, what is this guy up to?
I know. I had a hint at what he's up to, and I was right.
Yeah.
We'll get there in a second.
Also, have you ever noticed he holds his hand on his hilt like a knight would on his sword, Baylan?
Dude, he looks like a knight that belongs in the like old school knight, standing next to Arthur.
Yeah.
You know?
Is the entire ring of Peridia Purgil skeletons?
Yes.
That's brutal.
Yes. I literally wrote down my reaction. Oh, cool. A planet ring with rings like Saturn. Oh my God, it's made of bones of star whales.
Also, if they're going there, if some go to there to die, are some of them with Ahsoka going to die then? If they're going to end up there?
Well, after what we hear later, yeah.
Well, I mean, there's that too, but why would they go there if that's their place to go to die? I'm not saying all of them, but maybe they all go as a group like elephants.
It's a migration pattern because Elsbeth talks about how they were harnessed the first time to fly to this galaxy.
No,
so I think that it's a migration thing.
But
some of the Purgils,
packs.
Some of the Purgils pods for whales. Thank you.
You go, like as a group. Some of them go and die. The rest of them are there to be with them. Like elephants are very social creatures. Yes. And then they leave. Like I wonder if that's
it's a
what
migrating
it is.
thing. Yeah.
I wonder even if the big one that they're in is at its end potentially. We'll see.
We'll see.
But then Peridia, we're now going down to Peridia. We're seeing the Great Mothers,
witches. The voice echoing was a really cool effect.
Yeah, that was really cool. More witches. So Sabine and Shin in the shuttle are throwing eyes at each other in Elsbeth's shuttle. I like that a lot. It just felt right to me. Very Dathomir-like statues on the surface of the planet. Not a great place to be at night, I would think. Wouldn't that be a fun place?
Especially when we see the wolf-like creatures. Beasties. Peter don't do beasties.
Lydia says, I looked at Peter with my mouth open after seeing those bones in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Her jaw dropped. Because we literally were both like, oh, cool. We're a planet like Saturn.
Yeah.
We haven't seen
we've seen a couple.
Not many, though.
No.
Usually
there's one in the prequels for sure. But
is there?
It's...
Yeah, but to see that, it's just like, oh, yeah. Then it's like, oh, fuck you, whale bones.
Yeah, so a trio of witches that are called the Great Mothers sounds like they've been able to communicate with Elsbeth via dreams and visions. That's probably how Thrawn is communicating with Pelion. Because I went and back and rewatched the Shadow Council, too. And there's very big sense that Pelion's got a line to Thrawn. This isn't just like I'm a faithful person that just knows he'll show back. No, he's got a line to him somehow.
I think Elsbeth and him have been in cahoots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Interesting that the Great Mother sensed Jedi on Sabine. So far, the show has been portraying her as not very force sensitive or even like weak.
Yeah, I'm
like, wait a minute, like she screams of Jedi, like what the hell?
But not Baylan.
Baylan or Shin.
And Shin I wouldn't take because she's completely outside of it. But Baylan, like we're gonna find out later that he was a general in the Clone Wars.
I know, that was such a big drop. Yeah.
Holy shit!
But yeah, it was just kind of interesting for me that they did that with Sabine. I'm like, oh shit, like,
yeah,
really?
I love Shin's hatred of witches or distrust. I don't know what it is.
More witches.
More witches. It's like, all right, Captain Obvious. Of course they're witches. Come on. But I love her. But
Yeah.
that line cracked me up. And not
More witches.
Not in a bad way. More witches. It's great.
It is.
Let's see. And I said that she may be the least force adept student that Hugh Yang's ever seen in his 25,000 years, but the witches apparently sense it on her.
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
he's been trashing her this whole show.
Also, what do witches in another galaxy know about the Jedi? Are there Jedi in this galaxy?
Well, the stories came from here. They fought each other.
Yeah, but
I mean, you got to remember, Dathomir is also.
Yeah, but those are the Dathomiri are the ones that left this to go to the Star Wars galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
These ones that live here, these mother, like, I just wonder, how do they know about Jedi?
They have an open line of communication through thoughts and dreams.
Yeah, it seems like more familiarity than it'd be from some distant.
Well,
thing.
okay, but hang on. My note here, it's a little bit ahead of time. Balin talks about what he's after here. To break a cycle, what does he mean? End all life? Become so powerful that the Empire's republics don't stand a chance against him? Is he trusting all of this to a story? What story? Now, wait a minute. You're going to tell me that they don't know about Jedi, but he has heard of a story of this place? No, the Jedi and them fought at some point.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that the Jedi and the Dathomiri for sure. I just wonder about this whole other galaxy thing. Trips me out. But
no, that's what I'm saying. Is this planet here has seen Jedi before? I'm telling you that they have. We don't know. They rode the whales across. We don't know the ancient, old Republic time stuff.
Well,
like that.
then Hugh Yang would know about it.
Hugh Yang would, yeah.
So why wouldn't he have just told her up front, like, "Hey, this is the way"? And he's so kind of like whatever about the whole premise. It seems
what if he
out of the
wasn't?
question.
What if he wasn't programmed for this?
I don't know.
25,000 years. What if it was before that?
I don't know.
Do we know when he was created? Was he created the moment the Jedi were founded? Or was he created a little bit later and given the abbreviated version of that galaxy?
I'm hoping we get that in the James Mangold movie, and what I'm hoping is that it's completely unrelated. He's just like a somewhat decent combat droid that then just gets kind of looped into the Jedi and then becomes a Jedi droid down the road.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting images because of our discussions, but I do have a great image of the wolf-like creature that, of course, Dave Filoni puts in there because he loves wolves.
Loth wolves.
So these scenes with Balin and Shin are so damn good. Their relationship in all these small moments is just absolutely incredible to me. I love. I got a picture of it here. Also, to me, it's funny because I feel like as Balin's talking some of his backstory, Order 66 is like 9/11 for the Jedi, right? Like they all have their own story. And, yeah, exactly.
The way Shin reacts to Balin saying he watched everything he knows burns tells me he hasn't talked about his past much. She's so thirsty for it. She's like, What happened? What happened?
This episode's changing me on her a bit too, because I was thinking that she has a taste for more of the dark than he does, and that's why she'd betray him. But now there's some things like, oh, you're not going to honor your, which is ahead a little bit, but it's like not going to honor your agreement. Some of the way she's talking to him here just seems way more compassionate. I'm like, is he going to go darker than she is? And that's what's going to, because I do think she's still going to betray him. But this episode's changed my entire view of where
you think she might turn to the rebel side.
I have a theory that we'll get to in a bit.
Okay.
Sabine saying Ahsoka in the cell reminds me of Luke calling out to Ben at the end of Empire, after his failure with fighting Vader. And then she tries her force attempt. It's not much, but it's at least something more so than she got with the cup. So
yeah,
she's coming along. And then of course
he arrives.
The Chimera, dude. I fucking almost jumped out of my chair. Like,
which is saying something.
I'm not the most emotive watcher.
No, that's what I'm saying is that when Tad and I have watched things together and there's been a big moment, I'm the one that jumps out. I remember just recently, a couple years ago, we were watching the NFL draft together, and my team, I mean, it was my team and everything like that, but my team draft, and let's go! I jumped out of my chair, I'm all screaming, like, yeah, all right! And then when your team drafted,
we didn't that year, did we? Isn't that the year we didn't have a first-round pick?
Oh, is that the year you guys didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I've seen you. We've watched the NFL draft a couple times.
Yeah.
Even when your team picks, you're just like, all right, okay, cool. You're very calm. You're very cool. Just so to hear that you almost jumped out of your seat tells a lot.
I mean, I'm so down for this.
That approach was, dude, chills.
Yeah, and then the going into the bay, the bay that one of the first things we ever saw in a Star Destroyer
Yep.
from 1977.
Taking up the Tantive Fort.
and then going up onto this pillar is great. Also, I had one more shot I wanted to share because
That's a hell of a flight.
there is
pilot.
some gold encrusted across here. We're going to see that throughout. Also,
The ship is beat to hell.
also Elsbeth's shuttle was gold. There's a lot of gold, and I'm wondering what do the witches in gold have going here, because there's quite a bit. Also, the organ music is really fucking cool. We had that in Rebels for Thrawn. I didn't know if I had any hopes that we'd get that here in live action, but we did, and I'm so glad. So Elsbeth gold, Elsbeth shuttle, the Chimera is patched, and now as we're going to move up here and see some troopers, we see that a lot of them are worse for the wear, and some of the close-up shots we get, we actually see they have gold that's repaired broken sections. It reminds me of the kintasugi, the Japanese art of repairing broken things, ancient things with gold.
Yep.
We've all seen those pots and stuff where they'll do and stuff. So it reminds me very much of that, as well as these troopers I've been calling unofficially and jokingly duct tape troopers.
Night troopers is what they're called.
Because they all have these taped up. And then we have Captain Enoch getting.
Did you hear me? They're called night troopers.
Yeah,
In the subtitles.
No, I know, it's-
in the subtitles.
Yeah.
It labeled it as night troopers chanting.
Yeah, but they're duct tape troopers. Look at them. They're all beat up and shit. Then we got Captain Enoch, very Gladiator like. Reminds you of that big guy from Gladiator that has the mask.
Yeah.
And then of course they're all chanting, which is great. That's very un-imperial in a lot of ways. And then it happens. Thrawn, my boy. Thrawn, fucking it's probably 20-25 years I've been waiting. I mean, I know he was in Rebels, and that's great. I'm not gonna downplay animation, but to see him on screen live action, oh my god, dude.
Did you actually jump up?
I just absolutely geeked out. Just
My one note for Thrawn is he looks so good. He sounds even better.
yeah, and that's the thing is I even saw it behind the scenes. And I also have a picture here that shows kind of the gold fixed stormtrooper. There was a thing I saw somewhere online where they're basically saying Filoni and Favreau were talking about it, and it was actually Favreau that said, "How are we going to beat Lars Mikkelsen? Like what he performed in Rebels? Like how are we going to do better than that? Like this feels like no matter what we do, we're going to be less than." And Filoni's like, "Yeah, I agree." He's like, "So should we just get Lars to do live action?" And I'm so glad they did, because it's perfect. He was great in Rebels, and this is just incredible.
Yeah.
And then we've got the actual reveal.
Yep. There he is. Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh man, yeah, I've had him in my head for decades, and now here he is in the flesh. Also interesting, the Great Mothers are bowing to Thrawn. Mm-hmm. That's interesting, because I would have thought it's their world. Thrawn's there. He doesn't really have all of his forces. I would have thought he would have been somewhat subservient to them.
But if it's just those three left, what if that's all that's left?
Could be.
What if they're the exiles that were left behind, and the rest rode the whales into our galaxy?
Yeah, and
then they fought with the Jedi, and they transmitted their thoughts and dreams back to them. So they've heard of Jedi, but they've never actually dealt with one before.
yeah.
Maybe that's why they're misreading Sabine.
Yeah. Thrawn talks about the cargo transfer.
What cargo? What is this?
And Elsbeth says that she has seen the catacombs, and it'll take 3 rotations, so 3 days. A few things here. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
And 2, when has Elsbeth seen the catacombs? She has had no time. We have not seen her off a screen, so this has to be visions.
Dreams?
Yeah, this has to be visions or dreams. So yeah, the Great Mothers mentioned Sabine, the way that Thrawn talks to them. He definitely has the upper hand, which not what I expected. I guess I don't know. As this is unfolding, I'm like, okay, Thrawn's going to be like, it's going to be like a love-hate whatever, but I think Thrawn's going to either have the lower hand or the even. But they're bowing to him, man.
Which again shows just his prowess as a Grand Admiral.
Yeah, and then Skull knowing that he was a general in the Clone Wars. We already alluded to that earlier for Baylan Skull. So he's like general. Skull
dude, I freaked out because I'm like, we always see the Padawan surviving. It's always the Padawans that survive.
So he would have been a Jedi Knight.
He would have been at least a Knight.
Because Ahsoka is a commander as an apprentice. So yeah, if he was commander, then it's like, okay, then he's Ahsoka's level.
Yep.
But no, general. He's
He's a knight or a master?
He's at least Kenobi or Skywalker level in terms of rank when the Clone Wars happens. And he also talks about his age. He says he's not much older than Shin when it all went down. So, and she's not that old. I would say I'd pin her down at like 18, 19.
18 to 20.
Like that Luke Skywalker famously is 19. Anakin in whatever episode's 19. Like that's kind of and then Rey as well, 19. So that's kind of a big age in Star Wars. So I would say that I would put Shin in that spot. So he's saying he's a little bit older. So you're talking he's 23, and he's a Jedi Master or a Jedi Knight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Lars Mikkelsen is perfect for Thrawn. Maybe not the exact face that I've always had in my head all these years, but his voice matching Rebels is the right call. I think the minor variances on look are minor and not a big deal for me, but the sound, if they would have had like Benedict Cumberbatch, it would have been exponentially lesser to me. Losing the Mikkelsen voice that we saw from heard from Rebels, it would have killed it for me if it was anyone else, I think.
The thing for me with him wasn't his face, it was his body. Tall, lean is Thrawn. This guy was a little bit more short and stout. A little bit, not a lot.
He's also had some years.
Oh yeah,
he's around in the Clone Wars. He's getting up there in age. Some of us,
but I'm just
put on
saying,
some pounds as we get older.
Well, you don't shrink 7 inches, kind of thing. He seemed like a lot taller in the Clone Wars and everything.
In Rebels he didn't though.
In Rebels, I mean.
Even in Rebels, I feel like he was like, he was slender and stuff, but like there's times that he's like up with like Ezra and Sabine, and he's not like towering over them.
Yeah, he was a lot taller than them. So like that's where I mean, even your action figure over there, he's a head above Hera. So that's where I'm just saying we actually have an image of him from the Rebels. We can look at your action figure, slender and tall. He was a little bit shorter and stouter, but honestly, like I said, he sounds amazing, which takes away every complaint I have.
Yeah, and he's still like a head taller than Sabine. Yeah. I mean, I actually have an image here when they're facing off. She throws rocks at him a little bit, says that if you're able to survive, I'm sure Ezra's fine. And this Thrawn, live action, there's a slight like darkness and danger to him that we've never had in Thrawn before. I've been, like I said, I've known Thrawn for 25 years probably, and I know he's been in print longer than that, but when I finally read the books, this is different. There's an edge to this Thrawn.
He seems malicious.
Oh yeah, there's a malice to him for sure.
Yeah,
and I love that. I really do. It's pretty awesome. So then they talk. They're gonna let her go. Find Ezra. And then of course we get a new beast in Star Wars.
Howler.
So also
freaked me out at first.
I wondered. That was my thought. I'm like, I wonder what Peter thought. Is Thrawn using her? Has he not been able to find Ezra, or maybe he's using Baylan and Shin because anytime he's actually found Ezra, maybe he's lost troops.
It sure seems like it. Later on, we get almost confirmation of it, right?
Yeah, where he's like, we're only sending out 2 squads, and he's like, oh, we've been depleted or whatever. It's like, well, what's depleting you, man? Because
Ezra?
Yeah, maybe it's Ezra. So it makes me wonder, is he just using them, or it's like, I can't find him, or 2, every time I find him, I lose troops. So let's just go use these fucking mercenaries and whatever. So Shin has me changing my mind about her in this episode. I thought she was darker, but it just doesn't seem like it. So right here, she's surprised that Balin's going back on his word.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel right to me. For everything I've known for Shin, what I've perceived from Shin up to this point has made me feel like Shin is like darker than Baylan wants to be. But now I'm like, she's like taken aback that he's going to go back on his word. It's like, okay, no. She's maybe lighter than he is. So Thrawn's lawyerly reasoning with his treachery here.
She's going to get to Ezra.
Yeah, living up to the agreement. She'll have her opportunity to meet Ezra.
But that's where the agreement ends, and after that, if they end up dead, whoops.
Oh, man. And then the Raiders. I actually felt bad for the Raiders, to be honest. At first, I was fine, but when the lightsaber came out and it was like knife through butter, I kind of felt bad for them. Because I'm like, these guys are from a planet that they're not ready for this. I'm glad she didn't kill them all. Because I kind of felt bad for them. Like, this is just the world they live in, man. This is Mad Max world. Like, they're not malicious. They're just doing what they need to do to get by. And then she just fucking...
Also, how nice was it not to see another desert planet?
Oh, God. Don't even get me started. Yes, indeed.
She's going to regret not killing them all.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see on that. Next up, we've got back to the Imperial side. We got the cargo. They look very much like coffins.
Dude, where are they moving into the ships? Coffins? That was my note. Word for word.
So I don't think I have it typed anywhere, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I do not hold that the Heir to the Empire saga has to happen the way it happened in the books. But if it's like Marvel, I think though there's going to be an adaptation. I think Filoni's movie is going to basically play out the Heir to the Empire to a point, and it makes me wonder: instead of clones out of Mount Tantus, is he going to use raised soldiers, witch soldiers?
From
Because
Dathomir?
Merrick has already shown he was just a witch creature. Like, so is.
Do you wonder?
Are they loading?
Do you wonder if any of those troopers are that way?
I don't think that, because there's been a lot of people thinking that. I'll push back on that. If that were the case, how would he be short of troops? When he says he's short of troops, I'm like,
gotta have armor to put it in.
nah. I think
Merrick was armor.
I think
These troopers are armor.
No,
What if you're running out of armor?
and I could be wrong, but my thought, no. I think that he's 3 days also. How long? Like, they're moving pretty briskly here. 3 days, that's a lot of fucking things. So it makes me wonder if his fucking forces are going to be built up of these freaking
dead smoke
goddamn
troopers.
Smoke troopers.
Smoke
It's-
troopers. There
which,
we go.
Which is a cool thing, because again, it was clones in the books, and it would be cool if it wasn't. So that's kind of my thought.
And the mothers are coming with him
Yeah.
to work their magic
Yeah.
to create him a bigger army.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And
An
then
army that doesn't break and run and retreat or make mistakes.
yeah.
They are cold and calculating, but we have seen they are defeatable. They have the ability. They don't have all the ability in the world. They can be defeated.
Yeah.
Ahsoka defeated an Inquisitor one
Oh
already.
yeah. Oh
so-
yeah. For sure. No, but it'll be an army.
And an army is all you need, really.
That's- yeah. If he could raise a sizable army. So Peridia, we have Bad Dog.
Oh, hold on. Thrawn is as cunning and evil as ever, betraying Balin and
Oh,
Shin.
I had a note on that too. I just skipped
Dude.
it. But yeah, no,
Dude.
he's going to abandon them too, man. That's what I said. There's a darkness and a
Dude,
treachery
he's not
to
even
him.
talking about abandoning them. He's talking about killing them.
Yeah.
He's like, if they all die, great. The more dead, the better.
Yeah. That's brutal.
And okay, moving on.
What
to
about the Bad Dog here?
Don't yell at the puppy,
I was like, Peter probably didn't like that. I don't know why.
Sabine.
In my head, I'm always just like, I wonder. You don't always enter my mind, but sometimes they do. And with this little guy, I certainly thought of you.
Creepy at first, like seeing like the long jaw at first really kind of creeped me out. But now seeing this here, I want one.
Yeah.
I want a big howler that I can ride.
I love that. I think it's very Mandalorian of Sabine for this, though, because I think Mandalorians would expect a lot of their mounts. So for a mount, I think we were like, oh, a horse, yeah, it's going to get spooked. It'll kick you off and run away. But a Mandalorian, when they pick a mount, like that's going to be a mount that's going to go to the death with them. So I think that's where it's coming from. Is like her Mandalorian culture that's kind of thrown there. And then next up,
That shot of it where she points and sends it away.
I had that
I'm
up
like,
too.
I'm like, oh, he's gonna come running back.
Yeah.
And then he runs across. The music's fantastic and everything. What a good boy.
And then we've got the naughty.
My first problem.
Really, I loved them.
I love them. Don't love their clothes. They don't need to be looking like people from London in 1850. Like, what the fuck is with these vests and shit? That looks so stupid.
I liked it.
I love the rock creatures. I love the antennas, the hands, and everything like that. But why the fuck does he look like the guy that's asking for an extra piece of coal in the Christmas Carol? Please, Mr. Scrooge, it's cold. Fuck! It took me out of it so bad.
No, yeah, I didn't even
I
notice.
hated it.
I didn't
if
even
there are
notice.
nomadic people, which we find out here in a little bit, there are nomadic people. They're not going to be dressed like fucking city dwellers in London. I fucking hated it. Oh, it took me out so bad, dude.
Oh man,
To me, it just like, look at that dumb vest. It's so dumb. Give him a robe. Give him nothing. Give him green skin, and he doesn't need to wear clothes. Why do we all of a sudden have to have aliens get dressed?
Yeah,
Why do
well,
they have to be dressed?
Studio
all the
wanted
time?
Chewie to have pants on.
Fuck that. And he doesn't wear pants, does he? No. Free the aliens. They don't need to wear clothes. It just ruined it for me. I hated it.
I don't mind him at all. I mean, at first I was like, a little cutesy for me, a little bit too Ewok-y for me, but whatever, it works out. The rebel symbol, though,
Awesome.
that was pretty
Awesome.
great.
And again, the only thing I hate is the clothes. I love the character, the creature design and everything like that. The big old hands look like they're supposed to be for digging and everything. It's just the clothes. Just the clothes.
Didn't even notice myself. But then we get to another scene with Balin and Shin talking again about the Ezra. I didn't know him. He was from a later time. We get the term Boken Jedi, which is pretty cool.
Not broken, Boken.
No, Boken, yeah, which is like a training.
Dude, I didn't catch that the
thing.
first time. I caught it the second time because I always watch with subtitles on. They capitalize it.
Yeah, well, because
So
it's like a proper. It's like a training tool for like martial arts and stuff. So, but I love it. He says he trained her to be a lot more. The way he reacts.
No,
when she
you're
says
more.
Yeah, the way he whips his head around
Oh, he got defensive.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I fucking love.
Dude,
this
I'm telling you,
man.
like I said this earlier, and maybe I said it in the wrong spot. Dude, what he is up to, what he's looking for, it's my biggest question going forward.
That's my note. Something greater than the Dathomiri witches. Something stirring. Man, I'm intrigued by what is going on.
And he's going off
here.
of a story too. Is what he said.
Yeah.
And then he talks about breaking the cycle.
Yeah,
and
very Khaleesi.
Very, very
Lord of the, or Game of Thrones.
breaker of chains and everything.
No, breaking the wheel.
Breaking the wheel.
That's
Yeah,
that's
what
it
is.
reminded me of.
Yeah, but also he talks about the Jedi and the Sith and the Empire and the Republic, and he's talking about breaking the cycle. And again, that's just where I had my note earlier. Does that mean killing everyone? Does that mean making it so that he's supreme ruler and so no one can challenge it? There's so many different ways this could go.
Also, notice he never said Sith. He said Jedi and Empire.
Yes.
I was like, that's interesting.
Yes.
So I'm just going to throw it out here because I don't think I have it written down. My theory now, after this episode, I believe that Shin's going to betray him because I think she doesn't like witches. I think whatever he gets is going to be so much beyond witches that she's going to turn on him. I think what it's going to end up being at the end of all things, this could be season 2 of this show. I think it's going to end up being Shin and Thrawn. Witches will be gone. They'll harness the army or whatever they need, but Balin will be gone. I think it'll end up being fucking Thrawn and Shin. Because she doesn't like witches. So I'm just trying to figure out how this whole thing's gonna break out. And
I have my theory.
The Jor Sabath, the Jedi that's side by side with Thrawn, I think it's gonna be Shin. I'm throwing out here because I don't have it in my prediction section. So then we get to so we had that scene. Then we get to the naughty camp, the naughty trailer park.
The caravan where they're supposed to. So apparently they're just gypsies, is what they are, which is why they dress like gypsies. I guess maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
I hate it. I don't hate the camp. Just the clothes. Just the clothes.
Yeah. Oh shit. Let me just lost my button. There we go. And then they're getting there, all this cutesy stuff, and then, oh god.
There
oh no,
he
no,
is.
we're not blocking. Okay.
There he is,
Okay. Shocker for me.
dude.
Thrawn and Ezra in the same fucking episode. I thought unless they were side by side, not that he would be joining, but it could be in a prison. It could be we're both enemies, but we have to work together in this whatever ways. That's the only way. When he wasn't there immediately, I'm like, we're not getting Ezra this episode. And
my wife said the same thing to me. She's like, "You don't think we're gonna get Ezra this episode?" I'm like, "No, I don't think so." But then we paused it and checked how much time was left, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, there's still 25 minutes left."
And the way they,
I mean, 9 of it is credits, but still, I'm like, "No, we're gonna get Ezra."
But then with that, when that turned and he's there, oh my god!
And
Dude.
he spoke.
And
Took you long enough.
the fucking actor, dude, absolute perfection.
Yeah.
Two ways too. He's perfect for Ezra, but go back and look at the Bridgers, his parents. He looks like his dad.
Exactly like his dad.
Dude. This is like
The beard threw me off for just a half a second because Ezra left as a teenage
He's
boy.
a kid, yeah.
He shouldn't have a beard, and it kind of bothered me for just like I
But
said, just a couple seconds. No, it's been
it's been
a decade.
because that was
or more.
That was pre New Hope, and generally speaking, the original trilogy is considered 5 years, so he would have been 14. Because even the period of Rebels, he ages.
Just go
a
off
little
of
bit.
Jason's age. Jason's 10 or
Jason's
11.
Yeah,
He was born at the end of Rebels, so he's been gone for 10, 11 years.
yeah,
He's been gone for a decade. Yeah, this is a 25-year-old man.
yeah,
26-year-old man, 27, somewhere around there.
yeah.
Absolutely should have a beard.
Just fucking incredible though, man.
Awesome.
Just so well done. And then I got a screen grab of the hug. And then there is the tension though, where it's I can't wait to get home. She has the look. He asks how you got here. She's let's not talk about that right now.
Because she doesn't have a way home.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here for sure. And the other thing is I thought about is her what she did. Is that not undercutting his sacrifice?
Yes.
That's not a great thing, then. Ahsoka,
He's not going to be happy.
Yeah,
about
I was
it.
about to say we thought about how much Ahsoka might be upset, but what about Ezra, man? Like
So-
he's been living here for how long amongst these hermits, probably fleeing the Empire, fighting off wolves, fighting off fucking raiders.
Bandits, yeah.
Like he's not lived a great life.
No.
Um,
Also, the line from Ezra about his plan, asking if his plan worked.
yeah.
And then asking, oh, yeah, my plan worked, didn't it? It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
The way he says that makes me realize just how much torture this must have been for him.
Oh, he doesn't know.
He's
yeah.
in isolation for 10 years.
He doesn't know the Empire's
He
falling.
has no idea what happened. Did his sacrifice make a damn bit of good?
Yeah, he doesn't know that.
Should he have stayed and fought? Should he
Yeah.
have surrendered to Thrawn and then broke out of prison like they always do?
Yeah.
Did he make the right choice? He's been second-guessing himself for 10 years.
Yeah, he doesn't know if the Empire still exists.
He has no idea.
He's so far out removed that, dude, so interesting, and I'm so glad that they gave it to us. Now, I guess, like there is part of me that wondered if it would be the next episode. Let me see what's going on here. Maybe. All right. I don't know what's going on with the freaking pictures. I don't know if there's a whole lot else though, picture-wise. So then Thrawn saying to blast any whales that come through. The Great Mother sends Ahsoka coming. Thrawn is pissed, but he wants to know everything about her. Tell me about her master, her race, her species. Like, tell me everything.
Who was her master?
Perfect.
Is a big thing. Like,
yeah, because Thrawn knows who Anakin was. There's one of the 3 new canon Thrawn books. He worked with Anakin to save Padme in the Clone Wars, and then he gets paired with Palpatine, pairs him and Vader together, and the whole time he keeps talking, like he sees like the military tactics, and there's a number of different things he notices, and he's like, "You remind me a lot of Anakin Skywalker," and then the way he reacts, he's just like,
"You are Anakin Skywalker."
He never says it, but he keeps fucking tweaking him, where he's just like, "Oh, a lot like Anakin Skywalker," and he just keeps doing it because
that's what Anakin would have done.
Yeah, exactly. It's so cool.
He gets close to the camera, like right in his face, like.
So yeah, the Great Mothers. So then he says, "Don't blast any whales."
God.
So is that going to happen? Do you think?
Yeah.
You think?
I think they're going to hit the whale. It's going to, and then they're going to fly out of the mouth.
Okay. Also, my last question here. He says he needs to use their dark magic again. What for?
What? Right?
Yeah. What for? The other thing that I thought about too is in Mando, when we had that communications officer that was in the whole, she's like the secret agent in the rebellion where the New Republic, where like that's the what do you call it? Not revitalized, the like rehab,
re-education program.
Yeah. She was being used, and she's a communications officer. I wonder if that has anything to do with Thrawn.
Maybe.
But what you got anything else before we get into predictions? I know we're a little over on time. But.
The only thing is, I don't care if we go a little bit long. We're fine tonight. The only thing for me is what Balin's up to.
Yeah, the biggest questions I have: what is Balin up to?
What is up with the magic?
How is it going to throw go out with Shin? Is she going to be okay with whatever he's up to?
Yep.
And then now what the fuck is Thrawn talking about? Dark magic.
I have 2 predictions.
Okay, predictions are what I want to get to now. Go ahead.
I think opposite of what you do with the Night Troopers. I think majority of them are dead and they're reanimated.
Okay, and a lot of people do. I just I'm holding to no, and not even that I really care super much. I just think that the whole I'm short on troops wouldn't make as much sense to me.
The thing is that still, when he came across, he still only had so many troops.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so they're patchwork together. The armor is what holds. They have to have something where the smoke has to stay inside. I think we actually get that in an episode of Clone Wars. And everything.
Yeah, I want to go back and rewatch all the Dathmiri shit now.
Yeah, so
everything.
After seeing the Inquisitor, what was his name, Merrick, seeing him bust open and the smoke escapes. I'm not saying that all of them are, but I wonder about Enoch because his face is gold. I wonder if something happened to his face, and he might be one, which is what the magic might be needed for, is to revitalize him again. He's the captain. He needs him, that kind of thing. Maybe it's not all of them, but at least some of them are.
Maybe.
I could see it.
I'm not opposed to it in part, but if his whole forces it, I wouldn't buy that. I just don't think that.
So here's where that plays into my second theory. I think what Balin's going after is something witch, like you said, witch related and everything. I think it's going to turn Shin not to Thrawn. I think it's going to turn Shin into the arms of Ezra, Ahsoka, and Sabine. Because how great would it be, the tension in season 2 where Sabine and Shin have to work together?
Be good drama for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Like the good drama of that and everything like that.
Her desire for power, though, makes me think that.
And that's where I wonder if she's going to.
Thrawn can give that to her.
Here's the thing. She joins them because she's stuck on Dathomir. I keep calling it Dathomir, but you know what I mean. The witch homeworld, whatever it's called.
Fucking Cedos is stuck in my head.
It's
Peridia.
Peridia. Yeah, but they're stuck on Peridia and everything like that. But what if she aligns with them because she has to get off of there somehow? But here's my thing. Here's my big prediction. I'm going to be 100% wrong. I'm almost convinced of it. But what I would love to see is him raise an army with the something that even the old mothers were scared of.
And
he raises it, and then it forces Thrawn, the New Republic, and Ezra, and all the rebels and everything to work together to fight the outside threat.
Could be. That does bring up the question of Ray Stevenson passing away.
It does.
Although
if he is imbued with magic and everything like that and becomes something else, we could have another thing play him. You know?
I don't have it on me here because I wanted to bring it up maybe on the next episode, but there is not a theory, but there's a fan Dreamcast to replace him, Ray Stevenson, which sounds sad, but he has passed away, and I'm actually not hating it. We'll get to it because I want to have the picture because it doesn't.
Sure.
My first initial impression I heard, I'm like, absolutely not. But then I saw a picture, I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, it works.
So we'll talk about that next time. I actually plan to do it next time because the finale, if he doesn't die, we've got to figure it out. Yeah. So my prediction, I already talked about my prediction of how it's all. I guess I did write it down about where Shin's. What's going to happen with Shin. I think you're right. I think whatever he's doing is going to be so much darker that she's going to be like,
hell
absolutely
no.
fucking not. I hate witches. I hate this shit. And then I think she's not going to go to Elsbeth because she's a fucking witch too. So I think it's Thrawn.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I don't think she would run back to Thrawn because he's working with the witches.
Yeah, but
if she's opposed to witches, that's where I'm saying.
Yeah,
I could see her running to Ezra.
But I think somehow we're going to end up getting to where Thrawn gets what he needs from the witches and then disposes of them, and Shin will be with because where it's like, good, we're getting rid of all of them, and now it's just Shin, Thrawn, Pelion, and whatever the fuck they got for him, the army or whatever. So, two big ones I've got. And these are a little bit longer distance. I've been talking to some different people at work and stuff. Everyone keeps thinking Luke needs to show up in this show. No, I disagree. I've thought that maybe, but you know what I think? Leia is going to show up in this show.
You think so?
Especially if
she's already been name dropped.
Especially she got name dropped, exactly. And then if we get to a spot where the next couple episodes we get to a point where Hera is kind of on trial in some way, would Leia not be one to step in to help? And I don't know if it's going to happen in the midst of all that because there's really no way for Thrawn to know that that's happening, like the whole trial. But if there is like a tribunal and there's like high-ranking people, what if in the middle of all that is when fucking the Chimera pulls up and either putting her on trial for you don't have any proof, and then suddenly the fucking proof comes. And then my last prediction, I think Thrawn kills Mon Mothma in that.
Really?
I believe that because everyone keeps talking about, how are we going to make him like legit
How do you make him a formidable threat?
And we know that Mon Mothma is not the Chancellor come the sequel trilogy, which I know that's a long ways away. But we know she's an original trilogy character. She showed up in Return of the Jedi. She's been in Revenge of the Sith. They used her in Andor. They're using her a ton, which is great because she's a great character. But what if you fucking killed her, man?
Yeah.
What if? And then what would that do to the Republic? The Chancellor of the fucking Republic just got killed by Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's returned, and now the Empire's going to be galvanized to we just wiped out their fucking leader.
Long live the Empire!
So those are my two big predictions. Yep. I think Princess Leia is going to. Senator Organa shows up in this show. I don't know if they're going to recast, which I hope they do, or they're going to do the de-aging, or not even de-aging. It's the CG thing. I don't. Yeah. I just say, dude, get Billy. What's her name? Her daughter. Billy Lord.
Yeah.
Get Billy Lord and make her, because we already have Alden Ehrenreich as Han. Then you just need to recast Luke, and then you've got to because they've got to
Sebastian Stan.
They've got to tell these stories. Yeah. And I think that doing it in live action is the best way to do it. You can't fear recasting, and I do believe Filoni knows that, and I think he's working us towards that already. We just don't know it yet, and I think that's why I think this.
We already got Luke. Yeah, let's do it. We got a new Han. Let's do it.
And also the dude that does the body double for Luke, looks a lot like him, dude.
You told me about that.
I watched the documentary. I was like, you could use him.
Yeah.
Like, he's pretty great. So that those are my predictions. Next time, I know we ran a little bit long.
Oh,
but next episode,
one last thing.
Yeah.
One last thing. If you give me a fucking Rebel sequel and you don't put Zeb in it, I'm going to fucking lose my shit. I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Do you have any hope he's showing up in this show now?
He's
at
not
this point?
showing up. The last 2 episodes are taking place here or on the fringes of the galaxy, and Zeb's not showing up. I can almost guarantee
he is on the fringes of the galaxy.
I can almost guarantee he's not showing up because he didn't show up with the X-Wings. If he was going to be here, he was going to be with the X-Wings.
Here's my only thing I'd argue against that. They built the suit or whatever the fuck they did to have him in the background character Mandalorian. Why would they do all that just to have him as a background character?
Ahsoka season 2.
I mean, that's true. Season 2
I'm
does
telling
exist,
you
but
right now, I have this sinking feeling in my gut. Maybe I should put it down as a prediction. He's not showing up.
I have mostly given up hope that we'll see him, but I do think there's a slight chance that those outer rim, because that's where we saw him, is the outer rim with Carson.
Yep.
So it's like I do think that he may, or maybe he goes in to try to help. My biggest question that with mapping this all out now in my head is, are we going to get like that other shoe to drop for Hera? Are we going to see her go back to her punishment or her trial in this season? If we do, there's all kinds of cans of worms, like Leia showing up, maybe even Zeb shows up to try to support her, but there's a good chance that we don't even see that. I wonder if we don't see Hera
think the
again.
last 2 episodes are going to be
I think we're going to
Ahsoka.
I think I'm hoping. My general hope is that mid next episode we're back in our galaxy. Both sides. I think Thrawn in the first 10 minutes of the next episode they're gone. They're going to go back
because that's the mission.
But I do think that then Ahsoka coming back, whatever all happens, I don't know about Shin and Balin, but then they'll go get it in Wales, get back. By midpoint of next episode, I believe we'll be back in our galaxy to figure out what the fuck's going on, and then you'll have an episode and a half to figure out.
Where are we going with season 2?
What the fuck does that happen? And it's going to lead us into season 2. It'll be not a big cliffhanger, not Empire Strikes Back, but I do think it's going to leave us on a spot where we're like,
oh shit,
or like Empire. It's like it's kind of an end, but it really isn't. Like we've got more to deal with. So, fucking incredible though. Both these episodes. I was really worried about 6 because it's hard to follow up an episode as good as 5, and so often in some shows you just get kind of a letdown episode. This was not a letdown.
No,
it was lesser than 5, but no episode in Star Wars TV history wasn't lesser than that episode. So, but it was a great fucking episode. So, love it.
One of the best things that Star Wars has ever put out.
Indeed.
It's amazing.
So if you want to email us, you can email us at Peter or peter@geekeryabides.com or tad@geekeryabides.com. Tad is TADD. Next time on the show, we are doing Geekery Abides episode 18, which is Ahsoka's 7 and 8, which is the final 2 episodes.
And we'll be live in Las Vegas.
That's true. We will be coming live from Las Vegas on October 7th, 2023. So we will see you guys then.
Watch for the time. Make
sure
to subscribe on YouTube so that you know when we're going live. Also watch social media because we are doing a thing for our other podcast called Dark Tower Palaver, where it will be probably pushing back maybe an hour or 2. We don't know for sure yet.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that in the announcements. Good call. Yeah, we are gonna probably end up being later. So yeah, keep your eyes on it. I'll try as soon as I know for sure what our timeline will be. I'll throw it in YouTube so it shows. But just be somewhat patient with us because we're on the road. It will be a little bit different, and we will be on a different time because of the way that everything's working out with our planning.
Yep.
So, yes, for sure. Thank you for
But
bringing
we still
that up.
want to make sure that we have a live show to discuss the last 2 episodes of Ahsoka.
Yeah, indeed we will. We will be there. And we'll sign off as I always do, at least I usually say, is love what you love, to hell with anyone that has a problem with that, and let your geek flags fly high. That is a really hard thing to say. I should not make that my outro. You got anything to say?
May the Force be with you.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, everyone.